Now we're live. Now we're live. Oh, I was just chatting to y'all and chatting to Lucy. Now we're live. Sorry about that. Okay, so I wanted to start this off with the Reseller Stew Girls because that's the panel show that I was on for about a year and a half, and hopefully we're going to come back, right? Hopefully. It's up to Deb. She's got a lot going on in her household. Pinching pesos, Deb. Y'all know Deb. So she might pop on too. Anyways, her household. Oh, there we go. So there's a 10-second delay. Let me get that off. Okay, so we are live. So I wanted just to do like some kind of panel show because I haven't left the house in almost 3 weeks. Like I started self-isolating early because I could. I thought, well, I'm one of the people that can, so I will. So, but I'm getting lonely. I can't go thrift with me. I can't do thrift with me videos. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get on and chat again, just like I went live the other day. And no one can really commit to certain times, right? I was going to have a panel show. So I'm not, okay, forget it. These are crazy times. Call for a crazy show. So I named this the Reseller Drive-By Check-In. Hi, Carrie. I see you. Reseller Drive-By Check-In. And some people, I've sent out open invites. I've sent out personal invites. And people are going to be popping in, chatting with us for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then someone else will pop in and out. I'm thinking to not have more than like 4 people at a time so it doesn't get too crazy. I kind of like the 4 block here on StreamYard. Hey, Lucy, could I bring you in? You're good? Okay, hey, let's bring in Lucy from my friend Lucy, Reseller Mom, also one of the panel members of the Reseller Friends. Here you are. Where's
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, speak up just a little bit, but
okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, but you were saying earlier my mic was not working or plugged in. I don't know. I've had technical difficulties all week.
Let me turn this up. I had that problem the first time I used StreamYard over on Rockstar Flipper's channel. Like we literally had to get out our phones and he had to talk me through it while we're live on the air. There was something just wasn't hooked up right. It was the first, we're all YouTube kind of let us down. They promised us a new Hangout, right? And then they didn't deliver. So StreamYard's kind of like the best option, even though it does cost money. I did pay for it so we can have all the bells and whistles.
Oh,
okay. So where was I? So people will just be popping in and out of the chat. Some people will be coming on live. Lindy's going to come on later, about 11:30. Oh, my new friends, George, the Antique Nomad, and he's going to come on with Jeffrey, Real Nifty Vintage. Hi, Fatbird Finds. I'm hoping Laura and Mary Beth are going to come on. I'm hoping Stephanie, Thrifty Adventures. I'm pointing at the chat. They're already in the chat. You guys can feel free to leave your channels too. Promote your channels if you want to, because we're going to kind of be mixing friends during these next couple hours. Some people that I already know, and then I'm meeting you guys. I'm talking to the side chat people. So feel free if you want to leave your YouTube channel name. I'm trying to think. If you're not a moderator, you can't really put a link, but you can put the name in. Okay. Oh, hi, Lindy. You made it. Benjamin got clothes on?
What?
Okay, so let me chat with Lucy for a little while, okay? And some other Reseller Stew Girls are supposed to pop in. And then, Lindy, you're going to pop in if you can in a little bit. No, he doesn't. Okay, well, get that boy dressed, or you get dressed, or whatever. You come chat with us in a little bit, right? Okay. Lucy.
Yes.
What are you doing? You are mostly Amazon.
Yes.
And tell us what happened. Tell us what they did as far as like restrictions during this.
Well, there's quite a few things going on. So they have restricted any shipments to the warehouses that are not in particular categories until April 5th. A lot of us kind of think that date's going to be pushed back just with the sheer volume and the things going on. So you have that. The categories that are allowed are like grocery, baby items, things like that people are in desperate need of right now. Then there's been several employees that have come down sick, and they have done a ton of implementations at the warehouses to try and keep their employees from getting sick. And some of the warehouses have had to been closed down because of the sickness. And that has just affected everything. I know in Las Vegas, the warehouse is down and also the delivery service is down. So they are struggling. Merch by Amazon, I don't know. I don't remember if you do merch by Amazon or not. The t-shirts is completely shut down. They are not doing any t-shirts at all. They are hiring like 10,000 people or something to try and get back up on their feet, I guess.
For merch, to try to recover merch?
No, just regular.
Because there was a bulletin, my husband told me just here in the Colorado Springs, because we got a new Amazon distribution center. We were one of the lucky cities that got it. And they put a notice out to hire 100,000 people.
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
For just this area, which is, I think just this area, which is great. They just opened it. I don't even know if it was functional yet. But I'll tell you what, I gave up trying to order anything off of Amazon. I gave up.
So, and that's kind of where I am so that's from a seller perspective.
Right.
So I've switched my inventory to mainly just fulfilled by merchant fulfilled. And I do more wholesale items. So I can still get some of those wholesale items, but I've gotten a lot of communication from every company that you've done business with on what their plans are with the COVID-19 virus and if they're up and running or not. So online arbitrage has been affected because TJ Maxx and Marshall's, both the retail stores and the online stores, have shut down. So a lot of RA is pretty much out of the question. OA is highly affected. And that pretty much just leaves me some wholesale options. And then I'm fulfilling orders as fast as I can out of the home.
But you are getting some orders. You sell consumables and health and beauty, right?
Yes.
Because so does Lindy. Like, I literally ended up buying stuff from her. I'm like, well, I'm going to start checking on my friends. So that's good to know. You have some household things, some medicines or something that we might need.
Pretty much anything that I had in the office at the time, which is pretty eclectic. It was some household stuff. It was some toys, games, and things like that. And pretty much anything that people can't go out and buy and shop, they are going merchant fulfilled right now.
So in your Amazon store, merchant fulfilled, but you're not on eBay right now.
Yes, I am on eBay too.
You're on eBay too. How much?
And Macari and Poshmark. Pardon?
How much inventory do you have on eBay?
Oh, like 100 items, 130 or something.
So mostly your stock is over on Amazon?
Yes.
And do you sell it all under one name or?
No.
But they don't let you do that, do you? Like, I want to go see everything Lucy has. Like, we can't really do that on Amazon, can we?
You can if you knew my name, and I'm not telling you my name. So
I know. That's why I've never done Amazon. I'm like,
that's kind of the weird thing with eBay people and Amazon people. eBay people are, it's like, let's do branding and let's, get a name for yourself and let's promote and market. And Amazon, I'm like, you don't need to know my name.
Right. I even wished I would have done something different just on my merch t-shirts, because I do have there I go, spilling the beans. I do have a couple evergreens, and I'm like, ooh, I should have put those.
Yeah. Okay. I have at least 10 store names on my merch store because the reasoning behind that is they say that if you do get a good concept going or whatnot, people will just click on the person's store name and then go steal all the designs and then copy you. And while I don't think that's a great business plan at all, it's kind of a jerk move. We'll use jerk because I know this is. I have some other names in mind, but we'll stay with that one. That's just not a very nice policy to go through. So I'm fulfilling out of the house. We're not really going anywhere here. And then from a consumer standpoint, I just saw. I get a weekly or a monthly delivery from Amazon, and it looks like paper products just came back in stock. So I'm hoping I get those. And then I've needed shipping supplies, and Amazon, if you go to buy something that's not essential, you'll see a delivery date after April 21st. Wow. And so I'm going to eBay and other platforms because I know sellers like myself will get those items to me before April 21st. But I understand Amazon's reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I mentioned, we don't know how items are they're not going to run out per se, but we don't know if what the trucking industry is going to do. We don't know how things are going to be moving around the country. It may be like you can only move non-essentials for a couple of days. Who knows? So I'm like, stock up on some things. Plus, I stocked up on tissue paper. I think I put that in the side crew chat, didn't I? That I stocked up on tissue paper because I could not find toilet paper. But I was doing my shipping and I'm wrapping it in tissue paper. And I'm like, oh, push comes to shove. So I ordered like $100, $124 worth of reams of tissue paper just in case. If not, of course, I'll use it. Ordered extra tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're actually eBay. Lindy mentioned this, and a lot of us have probably thought of this. This is eBay's chance to come out and really shine, right?
Yeah, but they haven't.
And I know they're not taking advantage of this situation, but whatever. I ordered some, like I couldn't find anything, and I don't want to go to the grocery store, not that there's much left, but I found a janitorial and office supply seller on eBay who has like all those snack, like when you go to Staples, there's that snack section that you can, I don't know, fill up your employee vending machine or refrigerator. So I paid a little more, but he's not price gouging yet. But you pay a little more for that. So I got like packs of orange juice, packs of apple juice, some snacks at least, and some coffee creamer that my dad wants, stuff like that. Lindy sells a lot of health and beauty, so I got some things from her, thank goodness. Hi, Audra. So, and this is it. It came within 2 days. That's the point. Half of my order from that guy came in 2 days. I don't even know how. UPS dropped it off. Like, boom. I couldn't even believe it under the certain circumstances, right? Anyways, there's an option for some things if people are having trouble finding. Like my dad's in the middle of getting teeth implants, so he has no teeth. I have to have liquid stuff for him. I can't find any good nutritional drinks that are not being price gouged. So I'm like, well, I got to, at least I found him some juice boxes, some orange juice vending machine things. I've got a whole stockpile now downstairs. So if anybody knows how I can do that better, you tell me. If not, there's my tip.
I have enjoyed using Sendle to ship things up because it will ship 2 days and you save a little bit of money. I don't know if it's better or worse than Pirate Ship. I'll have to compare those two.
Doesn't it? It depends.
Yeah. So being how I'm not the eBay person you are, I got 2 eBay questions for you. One is I took some pictures of items about a week ago or something, and now all those pictures are corrupt. Is that a common thing? That really ticks me off. Like they just say that you can see a little icon, and then when you click on the draft listing and it brings it up, it's got the little picture of a picture.
You took them on a camera. I do everything on my phone.
I did it on my phone through the eBay app. Okay,
no. Now otherwise, yes, but through the app, no. I have no clue.
Well, that just really ticked me off.
Are you sure? Did you have your picture settings weird, like an oversized or undersized?
It was through the eBay app.
Oh, duh.
So I did it through eBay.
I don't know.
That's why it's kind of irritating.
On eBay for Business Facebook page, are they saying anything?
I don't listen to them. I was there in 2018 when I met you, and I told them several things of their platform that don't work, and they haven't fixed any of it. So it's irritating.
Well, that's just the best. I get what you're saying totally. That's just the best place I know to try to get to see where people are complaining about things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you go to the eBay forums, they'll scrub them of negativity. So sometimes, and then plus, I don't know if concierge is working right now because you have concierge service too. So we
might.
Huh?
I might. I didn't go to eBay Open last year, so I don't know how.
You went the year I went. You got it.
Yeah, but it's not lifetime, right? Wasn't it only for a year?
Was it for? I still have it.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I do. Even if I call them, though, what are they going to do? They're not going to recover my pictures. It's like
but they might have a clue. But my point is, I don't even know if they're working right now because those are in the United States. So I don't even know. If concierge service, if anybody's even answering the phones, I haven't tried to call.
Might have been a glitch or a fluke, Lindsay's saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just considering it an eBay fluke because there's just so many. It's irritating. So the next question I got for you is, like all the other platforms, they quickly cracked down on or tried to crack down on price gouging and sanitizing wipes, sanitizing solution, etc. And I swear, like 2 days later, there was still a ton of people selling sanitizers. So, like, what's the point in having them I got the letter saying that, you can't sell any of these in the category, right? And it was sanitize. I just remember sanitizer, and other people were. So was it like towards favorite people, or was there some sort of benchmark you had to have to sell sanitizer? Or?
Good question, because I saw it too.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, I saw it on toilet paper too. I saw when toilet paper went up crazy. So now I noticed, and I showed everybody on Instagram how to, because they added a new category on reporting called price gouging. So I showed everyone how to report price gouging. I showed you the proper steps to choose, because they don't make it real easy to report something. I don't think they want us bitching about stuff. But anyways, one way that I noticed people were getting around that was to put the things on auction. And they're like, I'm not price gouging. They're just bidding. Yeah. So that's one way that they're getting around it.
Well, and I agree. I agree kind of with that. You're torn, because I don't want to see a whole bunch of people that have the items that people want right now not being able to sell them, because that doesn't help anybody out. But on the other end, I don't want to see price gouging as well, but they don't want to seem to make like a cap. If you told me, okay, you can sell any sanitizer you want, it can't be over $20. Boom, there you go. You have some parameters that people can be within and appease everybody.
I don't know what causes.
There's no good guidelines.
I don't know what's legal. Like, I'm sure they have a team of like a big legal department. Who knows what's legal and what opens them up for all these frivolous, crazy lawsuits? Like, I'm going to sue eBay because they wouldn't, who knows? We see all kinds of crazy things. But, I was talking about that with a few people. It's kind of funny. Like, capitalism works a certain way, right? And like, okay, on one hand, I feel like as resellers, small businesses, I feel like maybe it should be our turn to get to raise price, not price gouge and be ridiculous, but why can't we follow the market a little bit? Why can't it be our turn when we have some products? It gets done to us constantly. Our rents go up, our insurance things, it gets done to us constantly according to supply and demand, right? Yep. Like when the housing market gets wacky. Apartment prices went from around here from $500 for a 1-bedroom to $1,000. I'm like, hello, who can afford that? So everyone started building apartment complex everywhere. So like when it's our turn, why can't we raise our prices a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and ideally it would only be for a very small amount of time, because as soon as you see the demand is that high, the supply will match up with it, and that's how it works.
Right.
So I don't know if they've really helped the system or not helped the system. The other thing that kind of, I don't know, bothered me or whatnot is the whole thing with sanitizing wipes, because I saw at the stores tons of squirt bottles of bleach and, whatever, antibacterial sprays that were approved by the EPA or FDA or whoever's approving them. And so you could just spray and wipe, and it was going to kill the bacteria and do the same thing as a wipe. To me, those Clorox wipes are a nice thing to have. They aren't a necessity in life. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like just any other lovely thing. I don't feel that it was a necessary type of item that needed to be regulated.
No, that's definitely a luxury.
Yeah.
I just bought a bottle of bleach.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And I haven't even had to use it, because that's kind of extreme, So I'm just saving it in case push comes to shove. And they say, okay, sanitize everything. I don't know.
I bought the Spick and Span kills 99% of everything for $1 at Big Lots, and told my kids to use that and some, cleaning rags, spray, let it sit, follow the directions, etc. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy the $6 nice wipes. I'm just frugal like that. My kids would use like all 35 wipes in one go. Anyhow, let's see here.
Talk for a minute, Lucy.
Yes, I wanted to point out, let's see here. Lindsay said that she asked eBay concierge rep about it, and they can't pull the listings down fast enough. They should be having like a bot do that. I don't know what they're doing behind that, but that should be something that's an automated process, and their IT should be, setting up something that runs through the system and scrubs and takes them down. So
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if I just imagine on the other end of eBay, somebody that's not really caring about the system, clicking through each seller one by one and trying to take them down. And that's not a good way to approach that. It's like, anyhow, it's just, Audrey says it's disenchanting how China can promote free shipping and we can't ship across town for less than $3. Don't get you started. No joke. I have seen those listings like on Wish or, platforms that are like Wish, and they're like, $250 from China shipped. Just, I'm going, how do they do it? How do they do it? What kind of promotion are they getting? I'm not sure. Oh, so we have had, I'm to be honest with you, kind of exhausted. I don't know if you are, but I feel like every day I wake up and I have new regulations, new policies, new situations to deal with, and I have to pivot and turn and adapt. And after so many days of doing that in a row, I'm exhausted.
I'll admit, like I was watching my friend Thelma, you know Thelma Thrift, and she had admitted even last week that she was starting to have to take a moment before getting out of bed when she wakes up, because she wakes up kind of depressed and sometimes crying. I'm starting to wake up a little bit like, oh, not another day of like, what is it going to be today? And like, I have addictions that aren't getting met, like aren't getting fed. Like I have a thrifting addiction for one, like most of us, and it's starting to wear on me emotionally. I mean, I can't not watch the news. I want to know a little bit about the updates. So, and I don't like to get my news from just one source. I don't trust any of them. So I like to hop around and make sure, and then put all the pieces together and see if I can come up with what might be the truth. Who knows? And of course, I'm not a Trump fan, so it's really extra, I'm under stress. I'm not a Trump fan, so it's really extra hard, I don't want to get political. It's just hard. Yes, Lucy, it's starting to affect me. So I
had certain goals and whatnot at the beginning of the year, and I was really excited for this year. And I just feel like in the last, we'll say 6 weeks, I was getting out of my storage unit, which is fine. That's something that was on my goals. They were going to hike my rates up again in April. I was going to go to ASD. So that was like my big projects, get out of the storage unit and go to ASD. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to do that, being gone for ASD for so long. Anyhow, so now I am officially out of my storage unit. So all my crud is at the house. And then my husband got laid off, but then started another job. And now he's going to be working from home for 3 months. And so now we're trying to fit him into the office and quiet time and all of that. And then my son's not in school for until the end of April. So now we're trying to fit him into the household. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right. And I don't even have children. Those of you that still have children at home, oh, my heart goes out to you. I mean, I do have my father, and he has a little bit of dementia. So I'm having a hard time explaining to him why I can't take him out to the store, why I can't, take him to the bank. It's not necessary. Why I'm having to ration some of his, favorite food items, because I'm like, you're kind of addicted to these, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you anymore. But like I listened to, some of my friends with kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like little Loretta, Thrift Love Sell, Lindy. Oh my gosh. I talk to Lindy a lot, so I know what's going on there.
Well, here's my big problem. We switched to online school for my daughter this year. So she works in the office with me. Online school, they thought they were going to have to shut down, and then they didn't shut down. So she still has to go to school, whereas my son is out, and now they're starting to give him some homework and stuff. So she's sitting here going, well, why does he not have to go to school? And then I'm giving him chores to do because there's stuff to do around the house. He can do a little bit of chores. He thinks he's going to sit at home and play video games all day. And I'm like, no, you could do some chores. So then he's mad that he has to do chores and then she doesn't. So I'm like trying not to have them kill each other. That's my goal at the end of the day.
Oh, I know. Like, I know you were going to go to Vegas for that ASD show. I know. Mm-hmm. And like, okay, I don't mean to always say Lindy, but you guys, besides the Reseller Stew girls, Lindy's who I talk to every day. And so like we made big plans. I'm looking at my whiteboard, like I got big plans over there, and we implemented them. Like, and remember how the whole Reseller community, we were all so excited for 2020. We're like, oh man, we're going to kill this year. We're going to slay it. We're going to rock it. I don't know, whatever. beast mode, whatever all the terms were. And I was telling her the other day, man, we really came out well, and now like we're just bent over. Like 2020 has us all bent over. I don't mean to be so crude, but that's just what it feels like. Like we're bent over. We're not totally screwed yet, but like
it's tough. I mean, I was sitting here hustling all my shipments, and my husband's like, oh, that's a lot of shipments. And I'm like, yes, but I'm not making the money off of each one that of other categories. My grocery item margins for profit are a fraction of what it would be if I was doing clothes. And I said, I can't go get clothes right now, but clothes are, I'm making $10 to $15 off each sale of clothing. On grocery items, I'm lucky if I make $3 to $5. So, I've got more work.
A little bit.
Huh?
On grocery items, like, can't you, like I was talking to other people about this, can't you up the price a little bit on grocery items?
Some of them, yes, but it's still comparatively grocery, and the items that I have at my house are not as profitable as other items that I'm used to selling.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I mean, sometimes I have a good one and I'm like, yay, I made $15 off this order. But a majority of them are in the less than $10, more like $5, sometimes $3 range. And so I would rather pack up 3 $10 items than 10 $3,
For real. I got you. Okay. I understand. And I keep forgetting your Amazon too. And that's a little different ball game over there.
Yep.
So I know I'm paying up a little bit for, some things to be delivered.
Yeah. Audrey had a good idea to give your dad some easy projects for distraction. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree with that 100% there.
Happen. And then we can still go on walks. My husband still goes on walks. Mm-hmm. That's safe. He does his daily walks. He usually does twice on Saturday and Sunday because my husband's still going to work. But he's the only one in the office.
What's he working?
And he got his papers right before he got his essential papers hall passed, as he says. Hi, Jeffrey, right before Colorado shut down. So he kind of knew it was coming. I can't really say too much, but
No, just what industry? I don't.
Government contracts. So
okay. Yeah. I heard all government contracts were still a go.
And I think Lindy's husband is government related, so he's still going out of the house. But he's very careful. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's an introvert anyway. So this is right up his alley. You know what I mean? This is right up his alley. So Tanya, get in here. Deb bombed out on me. She forgot. I wanted some reseller stew girls to start with me because you guys are the ones that, like, you're the first panel show I've been on. I've been on with you guys for what? 2 years. Can you, if not, at least hang out in the chat for a while, Tanya? Okay, anyways, what's I going to say? Oh, so he still goes on his walks, and he'll take Dad when it's weather's nice. So, but yeah, I'm fixing to find some things that are good for my business and must be done. Like, I don't know. Maybe I got some puzzles that have to be put together so I can make sure all the pieces are there.
I'm going to have my son go through and scrub data on my computer today so that I can back up things. I mean, yeah, we're all getting to these projects that were so low on the list a couple months ago, and now they are suddenly things that you can do while you're here. But yeah, this whole thing is affecting just about everybody in every situation. Mm-hmm. My dad, who passed away in December, we were going to have his celebration of life in May. And so I don't know if that's going to get canceled or not. But my cousins were going to come. They're on the naval base over in Japan. They said it's getting scary over in Japan, too. Yeah. They have locked down the naval base. They can't leave. All their flights got canceled. They cannot get out of there anymore. And then my friend, his mother just came down with cancer, and he's a nurse, and he was going to go back to Kansas to take care of her. And they said that he's not allowed. They don't want anybody from Washington going to Kansas right now since we're such a hot spot. And since his mom has cancer, he doesn't want to be around her anyways now. Right. So it's just flipped everybody's plans upside down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the new normal is, right? The new normal when this is over, because things are never going to be quite the same. Like we've never seen a pandemic, right? You're Gen X or are you millennial? I know millennials have it. I'm Gen X. I haven't. I've seen epidemics, not a pandemic. And I don't even think baby boomers have seen a pandemic of this magnitude. So things are definitely going to change, right? It's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully it'll be things for the good, you know.
Yeah.
I'm always hopeful, you know, some things will change for the good of the people, you know, not the 1%, the people.
Well, that's
okay. Hang on a minute. Tanya, yes. Put on your fancy pajamas then, or just do like Lucy. Lucy's in her pajamas from the bottom down. She's got her pink bunny slippers on. Just do this.
Actually,
I got my slippers on. And my yoga pants.
Heck yeah.
The back of my hair I didn't brush. I didn't even bother. So you're going to come on for a while. If not, I'm going to have Lindy come on in. Because I've got Jeffrey, Real Nifty Vintage, who's in the chat, and George, the Antique Nomad. Oh my gosh, some new people I've met, and I've been following their channels when I took a deeper dive into vintage, meeting so many cool people. They're going to come in about, I can't remember, 12 o'clock, about 12 o'clock my time, Mountain Standard Time.
Well, and everybody remember to give her some thumbs up love there.
Oh, sure yeah, thumbs up. You guys, thank you. So you don't have to leave if you don't want to, Lucy, because we can hold up to about, we can hold 6, but I'd rather just do 4.
I just pegged about an hour here, so
you want to hang out then? We'll bring Lindy in.
Sure, if you'd like to.
Lindy, you ready to come in? Jeffrey's dressed and showered. Yeah, okay, Tanya. Well, Tanya, I love you. I'm going to hang out for a few hours, so at any point you want to come in, girl, you just let me know and come on in. Lindy says, hang on, I got to escape Benjamin. Okay. Audra, I just sold Soft Surrounding PJs. Soft Surroundings, that's a good brand. Yeah, that's a good clothing brand to flip.
Well, and I think everybody's mindset for reselling has been flipped on edge too, because there were things that 3 months ago I'm like, oh, that's not anything I'd be interested in. I'm going, oh, now that's a really good deal. I've had pretty much any puzzle I had at Amazon sold. Pajamas are selling. Household goods that normally wouldn't have margins are good.
Some of the items that I'm finding out are gift items. They're like, can you please ship it to this address? Because they're not going out, but it's somebody's birthday coming up. I sold something to France too the other day. That kind of shocked me. I'm like, I don't know when it's going to get there, but yeah, sure.
Wow. I think, and I don't know what your feeds look like, but there's been a lot of good, heartwarming stories too, along with the bad. There's been a lot of people making masks and donating this and that. So there's been some terrible news headlines too. But
as part of my, you mean my feed, like my social media feed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's mostly positive because if you're not, I'm sorry, you ain't in my feed anymore. And the beginning of 2020, I seriously cleaned it up. I took it very serious about what I put in my head, you know, and I'm like, I love you, everybody in the reseller community. I wish you luck, but some of you, until you can straighten up, I don't want to see your post anymore. Like, I don't like the bickering and all that stuff. So
there's no room for negativity in this job. I mean, I hate to tell you, but there's always going to be, I just got a customer return while we were talking here. There's always going to be returns. There's always going to be an upset customer. There's always, postage rates are going to go up every year. I hate to tell you.
We every year know that. Maybe twice a year even, like seriously. And yeah, we know sometimes eBay sucks, but come on now, just a little bit of rant, but don't like strip them naked and spank them so hard in public. Like there's good things about eBay too. Like I just, there's good and the bad. It's and then if you don't have any constructive criticism, then just why? It's some people think they're smart just because they can spot problems and criticize. No, the smart ones are the ones who see the problems and can also help come up with solutions. Right? So,
yeah.
Oh, I got to send Lindy the link, I think.
That would help.
I'm so glad you're here. If you don't know Lucy, you should know she has her own channel. Lucy, you're a mod. Well, dang it, because we're on StreamYard, so we don't have access to put things in, do we? Can we put things in chat?
You can put like links in there. I can't. You can.
No, you're a mod in my channel.
Am I? Oh, I am. I am blue.
Okay, so put your link. Okay. And anybody who wants to put your You want to put your eBay store link. You want to put your YouTube channel link. Come on, let's support each other. We all need views. We need airtime. We need sales. Oh, there's George.
Practical
okay,
stuff.
So Lindy's going to come in for a little bit, and then I'm going to have George and Jeffrey, real nifty vintage, come in. Okay, so anyways, back to Lucy. She mainly does Amazon. So when things get back to normal, whatever, Lucy is a good person to learn about some retail arbitrage in stores that we all have, like Ross. What else? You do Ross,
Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Burlington.
Burlington. Did all Burlingtons close, or just a few?
I'm sure in my state they have. There was a bit.
We lost ours, and I didn't even know it was happening. And selling on Amazon.
Yes, okay. I mainly do Amazon, but I have signed up with the Vendu people, and I'm cross posting over to Poshmark and Mercari and Etsy. I have an Etsy store. I have all those stores, but I don't have much inventory and all of that stuff yet. But I'm playing with ideas, just like I tested out Go Gambit for liquidation for Amazon returns too, and playing around with that. Just different ideas on how to move inventory.
Please go follow Lucy, because that is one thing about Lucy. She'll investigate all the new kind of apps and resources, and she'll tell us about a lot of them. Now, no, Lucy's not going to tell you where she gets all her best sellers for Amazon. Nobody's going to do that, okay? But she has the wealth of information to help you be successful. So please go follow Lucy too. You will not regret it. She's on the Reseller Stew show with me when Deb does it, and I personally got to meet Lucy at eBay Open in Vegas, and that was fun. She did have a broken arm. That is one thing about Lucy. She will have a broken, bruised, or sprained body part at any given time. Just ask her what did you hurt today, and she'll tell you. So anyways, please follow Lucy, and you will not regret it.
Well, thank you.
Let me see. Oh, hi, Cindy. Hi, Connie. Go ahead.
Connie here is hi, Wade, and thank you.
Oh, Wade, Wade, you guys go fishing together, don't you?
Yes, and they shut fishing down. That's how we know things got real, is fishing is shut down here.
Fish 6 feet apart. What the heck?
Well, and I'm going, sometimes the grocery stores are bare. Why can't we go out fishing? But yeah, fishing is shut down for the next couple things. So here's the secret, Connie. Buy low, sell high. There you go. You know everything now.
Look for the quality stuff too. I'm like,
Yeah, you need to sell things that people want to buy. There you go. All the information. Another mustache. She is hilarious. I love her.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. So yeah, here's the problem with all of the selling is it changes. Even with eBay and clothing, what's hot now, what's not hot, what's seasonal, what's going on. What you should be looking for is going to change all the time. So instead of going and following everybody and seeing what everybody's doing, see what everybody in the market is looking for, what people have a hard time finding, what they are doing. When a certain particular store goes out of sale and they used to supply a lot of party supplies, that a lot of people are going to go online to get party supplies now because they can't go to that store. So, when a new craft picks up and they can't find the craft materials at a craft type store, that's what you should be looking for. If something all of a sudden becomes popular, like Pokemon was a couple of years ago, then to go look for Pokemon stuff. You just got to follow whatever trends are going on right now and ride that wave, and then be always looking for the next wave to go. And
that's also, but as far as social media, that's what it's good for. It is good for that too. Like I stay up with Reddit. Help me. Come on. Facebook. Like a lot of the young people, they don't like Facebook. They do Instagram, right? And they hate Facebook. I do all of them. Twitter, all of them. So because I cruise through because you can just learn things everywhere. So Wade, hey, I know you might be busy in your office, but do you think you can come on maybe in about Lindy's fixing to come on, and then I've got George and Jeffrey. Do you think you can come back and definitely come on for a few minutes and talk to us? I haven't talked to you for a while, and you've got some new stuff going on. I'll send you the link over somewhere, DM or instant messenger. Do you think you can come on in about half hour, 45 minutes or so? No, about 45 minutes, Wade.
You gotta wait.
I want you girls to come on. I've got Hustle at Home Moms probably going to come on. Thrift Love Sell, Chrissy, Frugal Living. I can't even remember everybody. There's quite a few people that's going to pop in over the next couple hours. So we might see Drew from the Crazy Lamp Lady channel. I'm hoping to see Stephanie, Thrifting Adventures, and some other new thrifty vintage people that I've met. Misty. And Ashley Rose, I'm going to be upset if Ashley doesn't pop on. I'm going to be upset. So I'm going to go harass. I'm going to start harassing her any minute now. Maybe Deb will come on. There's Lindy. We're going to bring Lindy on too. Lucy, stay as long as you want because I love you.
I love you too.
Lindy.
Hello.
I've been talking for an hour. You talk. What's up? I know. Because if I have to tell them, I'm going to tell them the truth of what happened last night.
Don't tell them the truth.
Hey, y'all, you know that bottle of Captain Morgan Spice rum she showed us in her Instagram stories? Ask her where it's at.
I might have overdone it just a little bit. Because I wanted to have some fun and I had a little bit too much fun in my living room and I've been recovering this morning. If you must know the truth, I've been recovering. I'm doing okay though.
I'm not
going to do that again. We're done with Captain. He can stay for now. How's everybody doing? Hi, Lucy.
Hi, how have you been?
Good. Hanging there. You hanging in there too?
I'm more of a wine person, so I have my glass of wine at the end of the day. I've had enough. I call it peopling, but whatever you want to call it. I've had enough for the day, and I will have my glass of wine. And yeah, I just need to watch something that's not the news in the evening and kind of clear my brain.
We're actually up now.
Yeah, I don't typically have a beverage at the end of the night, but yesterday we received word from our county that we're officially on lockdown as of right now. And so I sent out my husband to the liquor store before they potentially close. And so I was like, let's celebrate with a drink. And it turned into just way too many. And
So in our state, alcohol, we have state-run alcohol stores and stuff, but it's considered essential because anybody who's an alcoholic, if they were to not have access, they would have a bad time. And I don't know enough about
that's why.
Yeah.
See, I didn't want to take the chance. So my husband went out, but I didn't even think about the fact. I mean, it is kind of comical to think that they could see liquor stores as being an essential business. You know, you think of pharmacies and grocery stores. You don't think that,
But if you have somebody with addictions,
I didn't even consider that. That's crazy. Connie says it's essential in Texas too. That's crazy.
Our pot stores are open too as essential, and you can because they're like medicinal marijuana here, and I don't want to knock that at all, but it just kind of shocked me a little bit. It's like weed and booze, I guess.
But yeah, just kind of, I'm hanging on. We're keeping busy and I'm getting the occasional, extra long bathroom break to hide from children and yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got a trampoline for Christmas, and anytime the weather's good, I'm like, go outside, go jump around out there because they're about killing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thankful that it's not like in the heart of winter when we have like snow upon snow. We live at the top of a hill. So whenever it snows, it's like the snow is quadruple what it is down on the lower levels because of all of the wind. And so like whenever it snows a lot here, it will be like thigh high if it doesn't stop in a couple hours. So I'm just thankful that it's at least nice enough weather outside. It's been rainy and we have the potential for tornadoes, but
so
I mean, that's typical.
Somebody asked where you are. I'm in the Seattle area.
I am in middle Kansas, like rural middle Kansas. Closest area is like Manhattan, Fort Riley. So I'm like literally in the center of the country.
My friend's in Kansas. I actually
Yeah?
might go see her. She's out an hour outside of Wichita. That's all I know. She's in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, I'm about 2 hours from Wichita.
Okay. She says she's near the what's that country gal who has a restaurant? She's in Walmart.
Pioneer Woman?
Where at Walmart?
Is it Pioneer Woman?
Yes, thank you. Pioneer Woman.
The new Paula Deen?
I hope it's not the new Paula Deen. I don't think Paula Deen has a very good
Take that back.
reputation now. Yes. So yeah, it's funny. She had texted me a couple of weeks ago and she was like, this is kind of overreacting, don't you think? And I'm like, not in my area. We are going down. It's not good times here.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little overreactive where I am because there's nothing really happening with the virus here. There was, 2 weeks ago, I think 3 cases in Kansas City, and it's up to like maybe 7 across the entire state. But
we're in the hundreds.
Yeah, exactly. And we were one of the first ones to shut down schools for the rest of the year. We were some of the first to like lock down cities. And I'm like, that's a little premature. But I mean, I guess preventative measures to keep it from getting bad. What do they say? That everything that they do before seems like overkill and everything after is not going to be enough. So I guess, I'll stay home. But I've been self-quarantined now since the 10th, I think the 10th. So it's been a bit. It's been 18 days for me now, and we just got orders for another 30 days, and I'm starting to go just a little bit crazy. I have left to. I did have to go check my PO box, so I did leave to go do that because I did have a return. But then other than that, I haven't left at all. I'm going a little crazy. I've gone out to the backyard. But I mean, I guess it's not too out of the norm because I don't really go a lot of places anyway. Like I know a lot of people that do a lot of RA or thrifting, used to always going out and sourcing, and you're always out and about, or having to go to the post office to drop off packages. Me, I never do any of that. The only places I ever go are like the grocery store and then Benjamin's therapy appointments. And therapy appointments have been canceled temporarily because of this whole thing. And we just started doing like the whole telehealth thing for his therapy. We're starting that next week. And so I'm used to not really going anywhere, but It's like the idea that you can't, it's like suddenly you feel trapped. Like you're not supposed to go anywhere. And so now suddenly that's all I can think about doing is, I want to go do this. But I think that the part that's the most frustrating for me is not being able to take trips, because like Yvon was mentioning towards the beginning of the chat, we had made plans. She was going to come travel and she was going to come stay with me for a bit. And, and I had
vidIQ. We were going to LA for vidIQ.
Yeah. Yeah. And
there was other people.
There was Vid Summit is in October. I have no idea if that's going to happen now. VidCon was in June. I was considering doing a trip to Vegas with Megan in May. That's not going to happen now. Maybe eBay was smart not having eBay open this year. Maybe they had the fortitude to see that something bad was going to happen. And, otherwise I'd be looking forward to eBay open in July, so it's starting to reach the time when I want to go out and do things and take trips. It's not necessarily about, I can't go to the thrifts. It's about, I can't take trips and see people now. I'm really stuck in my house, and I'm just grateful that we have social media. I'm grateful that we have the ability to do this because, if it was even 20 years ago, it would be a lot harder. Harder.
We are a group of girlfriends and we are going to create a drinking night with Zoom, and I got to figure out Zoom today. And so, because we all wanted to get together and like have a margarita, and then as the days progressed, we were like, that's probably not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, we could set up Zoom. Same with my in-laws are setting up Zoom because they don't have FaceTime to talk with the kids. And so we're trying to set up kind of a little network with the cousins and the grandparents and everything so that the kids can talk to them. And they're lonely. Like my in-laws said, they're lonely. They're stuck at home and they don't have a whole lot going on. And they're not on the social media. You know, they're 70 and 80 years old. So they don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you know Steve and Steph, right? Resell Killers, our friends. They've been doing games. Like I played last night for an hour with them. They did online charades. There were like 500 people in the chat playing online charades. So I might do something like that next week. I don't know. I've got some cards where like you have to guess. I give you a clue and you have to guess, and it's like from the 70s, from the 80s, and the 90s. They did that too. I might do something like that. I don't know. You guys host something like that with me next week. It was fun to hang out with people. I want to say something else too. Okay, so yes, I got George, the antique nomad. Sorry, I'm having a moment. And I've got Jeffrey, Real Nifty Vintage, who I finally get to meet in person. I've been like stalking his channel. I've watched all his backstock. I've watched all George's backstock. These are some of the people, Lucy and Lindy. I've been talking about them, especially to Lindy. Like I said, hey, I'm meeting so many cool people over in the vintage side. There's Fat Bird Finds over there. Hang on. Thrifting Adventures. Stephanie's in the chat. Ashley Rosé's in the chat. I definitely want Ashley to come in. I'm going to be so mad if she doesn't come in. I wanted her to come in with Lindy to meet Lindy. Because I tell her about Lindy and I tell Lindy about Ashley. I want you to meet Ashley. But anyways, you guys, I'm not really scheduling things, but I did kind of tentatively say, hey, can you two come on together, George and Jeffrey, about 12 o'clock. We kind of loosely planned. So there's I'm pointing at them. You guys can't see it, but they're sitting there. Whew, I got to calm down because I'm having a fangirl moment. Okay. So I'm sorry.
We're all allowed to have those every once in a while.
Okay.
I know I do.
So I'm going to pull them up. Okay. If you guys don't mind, and let them chat for a while. And they'll probably chat with each other. So here we go. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Nice to meet you in person. I'm the one that comments on your videos all the time, and even Aaron's. I go watch his train videos.
Oh, you're the only one?
Oh,
No.
oh, there's something mesmerizing about them. Okay, now here's where I really got to take another deep breath. Here comes George.
Hey, wow, it worked. Wow, first live stream, and I guess I actually talked to all of you. This is so exciting. All these people I mean, you're like celebrities already in my world, so thank you.
This is how I felt the first time Lindy finally stopped ignoring me and started talking to me. It took me about 8 months to get her to finally talk to me.
It was like, you're over exaggerating.
I am.
Not that
you know what?
long.
I know. You weren't even on Instagram yet. You were just blowing up on YouTube. Anyways, before you guys, I'm going to let you all chat. Jeffrey and George. Jeffrey is great at vintage stuff. George knows everything there is to know about vintage and antiques. None of us know where he came from. This is my reseller mom, and this is my reseller BFF, Lindy Glenn, general merchandise, and then general merchandise over on Amazon too. So everybody please follow each other's channels and get to know each other. You're going to like each other. I promise. So,
I do know of Lindy. I've seen a lot of your videos. They're the ones that go viral. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And I have to say, I don't know Reseller Mom, but you look a lot alike. You probably have got this before. There's a person on the show Superstore.
I don't know Superstore.
Ashley Glenn. Ashley. I don't know.
Foster to me, but you may not know because you're a millennial. Jodie Foster.
Oh, I knew from that
that
where she locked herself into her house or something in a safe.
The panic room.
Panic room. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, millennial.
Watch that one either.
Oh my.
Jodie Foster is like a major actress and director. She's been acting since she was a kid. But anyways, you guys.
I know who Jodie Foster is. I don't know the movie.
I want you guys to chat because I want everybody to meet each other. And then
Okay.
some more people coming in. So we'll have to trade out. So, okay. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I can leave at that time.
You
Just
talk about what you do, and then George, will you introduce yourself when Jeffrey's done?
Yeah. I want to hear about Jeffrey, how he got to do all this stuff.
Oh, okay. So I did my first live stream just a few days ago, and it was a complete mess. I did mention a little bit about how I got into this. It was a lot of like just an accident. So I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. Aaron, my boyfriend, his grandma died, and they had an estate sale of everything in their house. And my job at the time was to actually make sure that certain things were going high enough. I since realized that that's not really great to do, but he said, here's certain things that if they don't sell for enough, just bid and if worst case, we'll keep them. But while I was there was a ton of stuff that I saw that had value that I just bought for like $1 or $2. Anyway, fast forward, we went to another auction after that, Barb and I, his sister, and it kind of just snowballed from there. I was working full time all throughout that. And it was just, in the back of my mind that I should be doing reselling instead of doing graphic design all day. So, it kind of wandered into it, and I always have been interested in the vintage stuff. I grew up watching I Love Lucy and all of that, and I went to flea markets at 17 and 18 years old, and so that's basically it, I guess.
Yeah, that is so cool. I'm just amazed. I've been watching you for a while and just seeing your knowledge increase. I mean, the other day I was watching you were doing something on Pyrex, and you have this whole stack of plates, and you knew all the pattern names right off the top of your head, and which ones had the Corel mark and which ones had the Pyrex mark. And I was just like, wow, he has really grown so much in knowledge just in the time I've watched you. It's just really cool. It's really exciting to me to see people be interested in all this stuff again.
It definitely, the more you enjoy what you do, the easier it is to remember it. That's why I don't remember anything from high school. I don't remember history and math. So you just excel. That's why you should always follow and do what you enjoy doing. And that includes buying the stuff that you are attracted to and the reselling. I mean, I can't say that definitively because some stuff is just not great resellers. But for the vintage side of things, it's a lot easier to have a death pile of stuff that you actually enjoy than junk that you resent. So
that is true, especially if you're just getting started, because if you end up not liking the reselling part, you hopefully bought a bunch of stuff you don't mind having around the house. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Yes, exactly.
So for you guys, I'm just assuming you're on lockdown as well. Are you guys working on death piles or just relisting, or what do you guys, is there any way for you to get inventory?
How do we get through this period? Exactly. Well, I actually am, it's funny, I'm the antique nomad and now I can't nomad. So that's an interesting place to be. But I have stuff across the country. I spend my winters in Florida and my summers in Seattle and in between. So I have some different places. And I ended up deciding the best place for me to go during all of this is actually Kentucky, where I've got family, friends, and they've got a place and lots of provisions and it's all safe. And I've got an antique mall near here, and I've got a storage house here. So I am doing all those horrible things that I put off for years, all the repairs I never made, all the things I was gonna fix and then it would sell, all the stuff, I need to have an estate sale here and get rid of a bunch of my old death piles and all that, which I had never heard the term death piles until the other day. And I don't know if Misty said it first or what, but I love that expression. And so, I'm working through those, and I do know some local shop owners who they can't have their shops open, but they're willing to have people come in and shop on appointment because that's still okay to do here. So, we'll probably do some of that once we run out of things, but there's a lot of stuff. I still have some videos to do from things that I did before the lockdown. So, we'll keep going for a while.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Nifty Vintage?
So what was the question?
What are you doing if you can't go out and shop?
Okay, so basically nothing. We don't really have a death pile. I do have one more haul video to do and film, but Aaron has been really good about keeping track and keeping my items up. And that was always my shortfall, is I had no problem going out and buying things, but they would accumulate and then I would be like, well, and I wouldn't really be excited to list them. So with having Aaron around and hiring him to do that part, I don't really have much of a death pile for times like this, but it's all right. We have over 500 something listings. I'm actually selling a lot of stuff right now, which is surprising to me. And it's not essential stuff. It's all like things you don't really need. So that there might be some emotional play there though with people, and they're looking for an escape. But for right now, it's not really negatively affecting me. So that's great. But I am slowly running out of video ideas and coming from 7 days a week down to like 5 days a week. I don't know. Like, we'll just kind of play it by ear. But I don't really have a lot of stuff here at the house to list. Maybe another 40 items, and then we're done.
Well, I'm trying to cross post things on different platforms. What platforms are you guys on?
I'm doing eBay, of course, and I haven't really branched into Etsy, but I think I probably will. I'm doing some local pickup stuff because we're not under full lockdown, like you can't leave your house. So, you can have an appointment with someone. Gosh, where else? I know there's a lot of other sources, but I figured I'd kind of run through the obvious ones first. The other thing too is that I'm finding that I have some death piles that are like a whole lot of little shippable things that people might be interested in. So I may make some lots and just try to sell them to other resellers so that they can keep going in the meantime, because I think I've got enough to keep me going for a while.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're on lockdown, I think, until the 7th. And I want to say lockdown loosely because, we can leave the house and stuff, but pretty much all non-essential businesses are closed. So that includes everywhere I would normally source. So, yeah, we've got until April 7th at least. I'm in Illinois, so it depends on what they decide to do. But I think they're having more problems up in Chicago.
Yeah, we just got that same notice. Ours is through April 27th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We just got the order at
end of April.
Midnight last night went into effect.
It just feels like we're all in time out. Like our lives are on hold. Like I'm in limbo. I don't really know what to do. And the weather's been gloomy, like so bad. And I'm just like, what is this? A dimension that we've entered? I don't
It feels like.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, something will come out of all of this. The good thing is all of a sudden, like you said, you're selling a lot more than you expected to at this time. And I was surprised by that too. I have a couple of malls that are surprisingly still open down in Florida. They're letting them, if they have less than 10 people, and everyone has to wash their hands before and after they enter, when they come in and when they leave. And I think there's one other stipulation. They all have to be 6 feet apart, but they're actually still open and operating. Now, no one's coming in because everyone's been told to stay home. So they're getting like 3 customers a day. But, so it's different everywhere. And it's kind of weird that way because I'm like, do I go take stuff out of there so I can sell it, or do I leave it there because maybe someone will come in? So it is limbo. We're all just kind of feeling our way through this.
I just saw in the comments that Connie says, why are we being punished? And I get that. Sometimes I feel that way too. But I saw a good one the other day that said, instead of thinking that you're trapped at home, change the wording to you're safe at home, and try to, think of it like that. And that's how I'm trying to here with my children that are driving me a little up the wall.
No. I've been thinking, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I don't view it as anything negative. I just think it's sort of like we're all taking a little break, like a little staycation. View it as a positive, as a way that we can, focus inward. We can do things to benefit ourselves that we normally wouldn't. We were on track to have a really great year. I felt it kind of gearing up and, with everything I was doing. And I was like, it's going to be hectic. But, this is a moment to step back and kind of reassess what's important. And maybe we don't need to be so rambunctious, although it's going to be hard whenever things come back on, But,
yeah, I completely agree with you. I think I've talked to Yvon a little bit about this and others, that it's as funny as it is to say, I know people are really super frustrated. Everybody feels trapped in their houses, but I feel more grateful over these last few weeks than I have in a really long time, because it's so unique that a lot of people are having to figure out how to work from home, but we already know how to do it. And we have that privilege. And, and I'm grateful, if we're on lockdown, I'm grateful I have internet. I'm grateful I still have electricity and running water, and
it only works because of internet.
yeah. And I'm grateful that the post office is still running, and so I'm finding all of these things to be grateful for. And I do also see and acknowledge that it is a little bit of, us being forced to sit back and kind of reflect on our priorities a little bit. Like a lot of us are so used to going. We don't really take the time to appreciate some things. And it's kind of forcing us to kind of take a step back and be like, wow, I took this for granted. I took that for granted. Maybe going out to eat 2 nights a week isn't exactly high on my priority list. Maybe actually cooking something at home is a little better because we can't just go sit down and eat somewhere now, so it's a matter of like reevaluating priorities and kind of forcing us to kind of look at our lives a little bit more. And we're being forced to do it. And I think that a lot of people are going to come out better for it, honestly.
I like that attitude. That really makes a lot of sense to me. And I do think that there's something to it. I mean, everything turns you in a new direction that you're supposed to go. I mean, I'm listening to you talking about this whole world of reselling things that aren't antique and vintage and what that's like. And I never would have exposed myself to that before because, I've been in the antique and vintage my whole adult life. So that's what I do, right? But now I'm hearing, oh yeah, there's this whole world outside of there. And how does that work? And exposing yourself to different things. And getting to talk to all of you and be part of something like this, I would never have had the time on a Saturday. I'd be out running around sourcing stuff, or doing a show or that kind of thing. So that part of it's pretty good. I am missing some of the people I'm used to seeing this time of year because I do shows all year long, and the next show is supposed to be in a couple of weeks and it's not going to happen. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to see all these people I really like for 6 more months, So there's some weirdness to that. But on the other hand, it is making me take a different look at things. I've actually, I'm getting out and walking and exercising and doing things I never take time to do because there's time. So that's not such a bad thing in some ways.
Yeah.
Well, and for me, one of the things is, like Lindsay said, we are all in a situation where we're kind of used to this. We're modifying. We still have a job per se, and we just need to adapt and figure it out. And we're used to doing that because we have changes all the time. We have changes in software. We have changes in platforms. We have changes in what people are buying. Mm-hmm. So we're used to doing that. But as I read like Facebook messages on other people, not everybody has that luxury or has had that experience, and they are having a really, really hard time because some people have gone from a household with 2 incomes to everybody's at home, no income, no insurance. They don't know how they're going to pay their bills. They don't know what's going to happen if they, heaven forbid, get sick. They can't find jobs. They maybe have lost, credit ratings or have lost, other things in their life right now, and they're struggling. And so I do find myself being very grateful that I am not in that situation. Mm-hmm. But it is eye-opening to see exactly that situation is very common outside of my circle, which is, you kind of reseller type community people. So I have one feed in my Instagram is kind of all resellers, and I get to see all of that, and it's interesting, and it's completely different than like my Buy Nothing Facebook group. So it's a different vibe there for sure.
Oh, I bet. And again, it's really, there may be something kind of healthy about all of that, to have to look beyond yourself and for other things. And like you said about being a reseller, we are used to being able to kind of turn on a dime because we have to all the time. It's always a little uncertain in the reseller world. So I guess we are kind of lucky in a way because we can do something else. And the other thing, I think everyone's going to have to be a little patient and forgiving with each other. And that might be good for people too, because some people are going to need a little more time to pay a bill. I know some of the antique stores I'm in, I'm not expecting to get my next check, and that's okay. They might take them a month or 2 to get things turned around. We all are just going to have to try to help each other as much as we can. And I think that might bring out an aspect in people that we've sort of gotten away from, with everybody being just so busy and, very self-focused. And so I don't know, in some ways this might be a welcome change.
Oh yeah. I think everybody's going to come out stronger. definitely. Well, if they have the correct mindset, maybe. if they have the wrong mindset, then yeah, they probably won't come out much stronger. They'll just come out really pissed off and angry.
Yeah. Well, stay indoors a few extra days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. My CPA, we had done all our paperwork for the CPA, and then he was like, "Hey, you need to sign this form." And I said, "Well, I thought we did." And he said he's just been inundated, and thank you for being a kind and understanding. So, those that are working are getting slammed, whether it's the healthcare workers or the retail people that are still working. Any of those jobs, they are getting a lot of cranky and negative people.
Yeah, I did. I did actually go to Sam's Club. I broke myself quarantine to go to Sam's Club because I needed a 25-pound bag of rice because, it's a pandemic. But I went to Sam's Club and everything was, or not everything, but almost everything that was essential was limit one per customer. And there was signs everywhere. And some items like the bags of rice and like butter, there was no signage. So I got 2. I was like, I'm going to get 2 things of butter and I'm going to get 2 things of eggs and I'm going to get 2 bags of rice. And when I went to go check out, they were like, I'm sorry, but it's a limit of 1. And I was like, oh, I didn't see any signs for these items. That's why I went ahead and got 2. And so I had to put 1 of each back. And the 2 ladies that I was talking about when I was checking out at Sam's Club were just telling me about, like, they actually thanked me first. They didn't just start ranting about it, but they thanked me for being so calm about it and not throwing a fit because I couldn't get both. I had to only get 1. Because they said that they were just becoming inundated with meanness out of people. Like if they try to come in and buy 3 of something and they find out they can only have 1, they will throw a huge fit and they'll try to like come back in and buy it. And then they're told, no, like, hey, we just saw you can't come back in. And people would just get so infuriated because they had a limit of 1. And so talking to these ladies, they were just talking about how they've just been verbally abused by people. They've, had to consider calling the police to remove people. And I mean, it really does kind of show, it brings a lot of things out of people, especially when, they're scared or they're concerned. If somebody wants 100 pounds of rice and they're told they can only have 25 pounds, they're going to get angry.
I honestly had to go off on my son the other day, and I don't, he's 15 and he was ranting at the dinner table about how, all these hoarders are filling up their carts. And there was a lot of news at that time, this a few days ago. And I said, listen, you do not know what that person's situation is, and you need to not judge. I've seen a lot of Facebook posts about people out trying to shop for their parents, shop for other families. There's people that are doing group grocery shopping lists and sending one person out here. So you don't know. And so you got to be kind to each other for sure.
Oh yeah. Like my aunt, she was not only shopping for her and her husband, but also our grandparents. So she was picking up doubles of everything because they're not all going to her. So yeah, that's definitely the same kind of situation. What if somebody has a household where they have a bunch of foster children and they need to stock up on certain things? I mean, you don't know people's situations. Maybe somebody really does need 150 rolls of toilet paper. We don't know what kind of intestinal issues they have. Maybe they need that many. Maybe they go through that many in 30 days.
You don't know what they're shopping for, because in my area, we've had a lot of places get out of stock. So you're shopping in different places that maybe you don't normally go to. Maybe you're a business and you normally go to Costco, but Costco doesn't have it. And so you're at a different store and you're buying a quantity that looks a little bit different at that store than if you were in the business Costco shopping center. Right. So, you've got to think of all of those different situations. I know my mother is struggling. My brother just had his baby and he got sent back to work. He's in construction. So it was weird. He was going without work, and then they decided he could work, and then her school went online. So now she's working. And so it's a crazy, everybody's world has been changed for sure. Yeah. Everybody needs to take a deep breath. Well, not too deep. Don't breathe deep. Breathe in your 6 feet.
Well,
it's been 6 feet away. Yeah.
Well, it's been a little strange for me as far as necessary and essential things, because I am used to getting all that stuff at estate sales. This is the first time I bought a roll of toilet paper in a store in 15 years. I mean, I was just shocked. I'm like,
That's
what?
awesome.
I can't just go to an estate sale and get all of the half-used cleaning supplies and half a roll of paper towels and all the stuff that I always get, you know? So that's been probably my big adjustment to the real world.
I never would have thought about getting that kind of stuff at estate sales. That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Well, I see, when you're a vintage reseller, the pool of stuff that you can get in an estate sale is suddenly that much smaller, because everything that's newer isn't your thing. So if you go to a sale and it isn't a real great sale for vintage, well, then you think, well, I drove all the way here. Well, what do I need for the house? And you just get everything you need. And it's like going to the grocery store. So that's how I've lived my life for years. In fact, I was audited by the IRS once 10 years ago. And the reason was because I have an address in Seattle in a high-end neighborhood, and they looked at what I do for a living and what I make, and they're like, there's no way you could live there. They don't realize I rent a room for my friend when I'm out there in the summer. And so they start asking you all these really invasive questions, like, how much do you spend on alcohol? And how much do you spend on clothes? And how much do you spend on this? And I was like, nothing. I get it at a estate sale. I get it at a estate sale. I get it at an estate sale. And the woman, after like the 10th question, was like, I want to be on your estate sale list. I need to start going to estate sales.
I do too. Maybe I should start going. My goodness. Yeah, no, I buy things pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I'm suddenly very, very thankful that I'm selling health and beauty rather than clothing right now, because I have, like, my garage is full of like all the personal care stuff we need. I have like plenty of Clorox wipes, cleaners. I have lots of shampoo, soaps. Like, I've got so many hand soaps and all these things. I didn't have to worry about getting any of that at the store. It's just all sitting in my garage. You know, and then I'm like, well, if I was still selling a whole bunch of jeans, I don't know what I would do with jeans in this kind of situation. And not only that, but I also have a lot of things like cough and cold medicine and cough drops and stuff that we've set aside. So that was one of the first things to start getting cleared off the shelves at the stores, was stuff like Tylenol and cough medicine and allergy medicine. I have plenty of that. Like, we've got our own little stockpile, just because anytime I would get something in liquidation and maybe a bottle was damaged. I mean, of course, if a seal is broken, I'm not going to use it. But if the box has been tampered with, I can't sell that because of FDA regulation. So I just stick it in a cabinet and I'm like, we'll use this. Or, you know, cold medicine that expires this month, I don't have time to list it and sell it, so I'm just going to stick it in the cabinet. So, like, we're good. We're good on that kind of stuff. I didn't have to worry about any of that, which, by the way, in case y'all didn't know, you know how hand sanitizer went crazy for crazy prices on eBay? Tylenol is probably going to be that next one. I had some followers hitting me up asking me if I happened to have any Tylenol to sell. And I went and I looked on eBay, and the prices for Tylenol is starting to skyrocket. Nothing like Aleve, ibuprofen. I mean, all of those are fine, but the Tylenol, it's like $30, $40 for a bottle.
Acetaminophen too.
Yeah, acetaminophen and Tylenol.
But, So Lindsay, but my thing is, like, you see that coming, and then because they have come down on sellers so hard on certain things, are you going after those products and just making sure that you are not in the price gouging range, or are you staying away from those things with possibility of them coming down on you?
I'm not seeking them out, but after my viewer did ask me, I did actually have a couple bottles of Tylenol, and I did go ahead and list them, and I sold them within 5 minutes, but I priced them way lower than everybody else. I still was able to sell, they were 100 count bottles of Tylenol. I sold the 100 count bottles of Tylenol for $19 and change a piece, which is about double the store price, but it was still almost half the price of what everybody else was selling them for when I listed them. So, like, I had replied to her, I'm like, here's the link, go buy it now, because someone is going to just swoop in because my price is the best price on eBay. And so she luckily got it. And then right after she bought it, someone else bought it. But, like, I don't have any more. And I mean, I'm not seeking out Tylenol just because of that, because I don't I don't exactly want to be that person that's looking for the items that people desperately need, even though people desperately need them, just because there is that stigma of, oh, well, it's selling for even more money and it's taking advantage of people and all of that. I'm not really wanting to, like, I've got plenty of Clorox wipes and all these things that are sitting around. I can't sell them, so I'm just sticking them in the cabinet. And that's really sad too, because, you know, like I was kind of mentioning in the chat, Lucy, when you were talking earlier, I do feel like it is a missed opportunity for eBay, because we sellers might have things that people are desperately looking for, but they're forbidding us from selling it. So here I am with 10 tubs of Clorox wipes, and I can't sell them. And someone might want them. So, I mean, I've got them in the event that, you know, something bad happens and there's a run at my hospital and the hospital needs them, or the schools were open and the school needs them. Well, now everybody's closed. But so, I mean, I have them in the event that that happens. But, you know, I talked about this on my live stream. I tried to sell hand sanitizer locally to local people that I knew couldn't get any here for $2.50 a bottle. And I had them coming after me with pitchforks, thinking that I wiped all the shelves clean and I was trying to make a 20-cent profit per bottle. And I had people wanting to come after me. So I was like, you know what? I'm not selling this kind of stuff right now. People are too sensitive.
Very true. Very true. I'm kind of going for the things that are on the outskirts of that narrow field. So I'm looking for other things that people want during quarantine, like chocolate and puzzles. You know, you're not going to get hit with price gouging for chocolate if you buy it. It's not a necessity.
Right.
Who you ask.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Jeffrey, I wanted to ask Jeffrey that too. You said that you were selling things and it was going a little better than you expected. So what kinds of things are people buying? I mean, you said it's nostalgia things or comfort things?
Well, it's hopefully there's not much of a lag. I see a lot of lag happening here, but can you hear me at least?
Yeah.
We're good. We'll be patient. This is casual.
Okay, good. There's a storm coming through. So yeah, I mean, the stuff that I normally sell is selling. I don't really see a difference in like the types. I mean, I just had a couple orders coming through as I'm doing this, and it's like an antique syrup pitcher that I had in today's haul video. So antique vintage things, but not so much. Whenever I first started, I was doing a lot more of the nostalgic vintage things that people grew up with. And that was just because that's what I knew at the time. But as I learn more, I can get into those older things like you're probably doing a lot more of. And I truly, I want to do more of that. But here in Illinois, I don't have as many opportunities for the older stuff like they do up in the East Coast. So.
Yeah, it is true how it varies so much, but that's interesting. So it's really just the same stuff. And I think that to me, the antique and vintage market over the years, you know, things go up and things go down. A disaster happens and people say, oh, I have other priorities, but they always seem to come back to it because there's some comfort to it. And some of what we sell is practical and functional, but that's not usually the motivation. It's usually about something else. And people will spend where their passions lie. So if it's something, you know, if they have extra money, I mean, the good thing is, you know, most people are keeping their job through this. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of financial assistance. So, you know, at this point, I guess I'm just going to stay the course and do what I do and figure that it'll work out. But it's just, I was just curious if you'd notice a change in the types of things. And it sounds like not. So that's actually encouraging. I haven't really been out there selling much since my last show. This is usually a slack time for me when I'm getting ready for other shows and other things, and might, you know, dabble in some online stuff in this time of year. And I guess I'm going to now. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Jeffrey that too. So I'm glad you did, because I wanted to ask you that too. Sorry, you guys. I was just trying to coordinate other people that are waiting to come on. Sorry, when I'm on my phone. You guys are doing great without me anyways. Thanks. But yeah, George, of course, okay, this is me. if I like you on YouTube and I follow you, I'm all up in your business. I'm creeping on you. Okay. So Lindy knows this.
I love it.
So of course I found your store, right? Of course, but there's not much in your eBay store. So like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah, that is a good point. I have an ongoing eBay store that a friend of mine helps me maintain year round. And we have kind of a standing agreement. He does a lot of baseball cards and books and things. And he does some of those for me as well. And then I do additional listings of things as I have time. And now I have time, so there will be additional listings on there. A lot of times people go to my eBay site and they're like, oh, you're so narrow. You're in like 2 categories. And it's just because I don't have the time to maintain it fully myself. So I have help doing that. And I think what's going to happen is I plan to do a lot of, I still have some videos from shows and events and things, but I actually think I'm going to do some show and tell of dead stock and things I found, and then put those things online so that people who see me can also buy things. I haven't really done a lot of that yet, and I know that's a big thing for a lot of YouTube sellers. So I'm sure I'll try to do that too.
Yeah, because I missed out on that silver Weeping Bright. I got the gold one from you. Right door. I'm still pouting over the silver one. I've got you and several other people and Ashley looking for one for me because she goes out a lot too.
Well, yeah. Jeffrey might find one because that silver one I found somewhere. I want to say it was in Southern Illinois, so he might find one for you.
Jeffrey's my man. Okay. I'm going to tell him what it is later then in a chat. What is wrong with, sorry, you guys, what is happening? Why am I all like fake tan? What is happening?
I always have like a yellow glow because of the light bulbs I use in here.
I got my ring light on. I don't know what's happening. Okay. We got Fatbird, Laura Beth, and Laura and Mary Beth waiting, but hang on just a minute.
Well, then I will go ahead and use this to make my exit and go. I've got to go probably cook, which I was going to say an uptick in kitchen items because we're all cooking.
That's right.
We're used to, right? Thank you for having me on, Yvon. Nice meeting everybody else here.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, everybody in chat. I will talk to you all later.
I'm so glad. I want everybody to hook up. I love you, Lucy. I'll talk to you later. All right. I'm going to bring Laura and Mary Beth on in just a second, and I'll answer the question that George asked Jeffrey that I was going to anyways. But, okay, no, I'm not selling as much, but I am selling stuff because I'm finding out it's gift items because people are going gift shopping and they're like, will you please, even though, we're not supposed to send things to a different address, it's not on file with eBay. They're like, please, I'm being very lenient right now. Will you send this to this person? So they don't have to do double shipping. Plus, I think that's prudent right now to not overtax. If we can save an extra burden, even if it's little, on the shipping system, that's good too, right? So I've sold some gift items that are going to other people for gifts. So,
I think that's great. And the only caveat I would say is if it's a real expensive item, then be careful. I got burned on one real bad once that way and found out that, if you ship to another address, all they have to do is say they didn't get it. And that's exactly what happened. So I learned.
I'm glad you threw that in there for those listening to me because there's too much I take for granted from being, a long time seller.
We do this all the time, so we just think everyone knows. Yeah.
Right. But some people that are watching this are new. So especially Lindy. Lindy has a group of new followers that she helps teach. Okay, you guys, we're going to bring in Laura and Mary Beth, Fatbird Finds. I just met them. When I took a deeper dive into vintage, I started scouring YouTube. Where are my new friends at? And so I think the first person I found, of course, was Crazy Lamp Lady channel, Drew and Jocelyn. That led me to Jeffrey. Jeffrey led me to Ashley Rose, who I adore. And then how did I find George? I think I was just searching because George just came over onto YouTube. We're kind of doing the Periscope thing, right?
Yeah, I still do Periscope once in a while, mainly because I need to practice live streaming. And this is the first time I've done anything like this, so this has been fun. Periscope is nice when you can just be spontaneous and turn the camera on and suddenly be broadcasting. So that's pretty cool. But YouTube I like because I like to show a lot of stuff, and I really do a lot of editing. I was hearing, I think it was, maybe it was you talking to Misty and talking about, oh, it takes me a few hours to edit a thing. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a dream. Because, I get real wonky and I start looking at a million things, and then I'm telling you things, and then I'm realizing I have to go back and check my information because, I've done this so long that I just think that what I know is true. And I realize I'm finding out that things I was told 30 years ago when I got in the business by people who were, 80-year-olds who'd done it forever, and I just thought they knew everything. They make a lot of stuff up.
Before the internet, they could get away with that crap, right?
That's right.
Yeah. With that method of operation.
Yeah, so there's a few things. I'm a certified appraiser, right? So there's a couple of things I've found where I've actually had to go back and tell people, I just discovered that something I've been telling everyone for 20 years is not true. And actually, I need to tell you the opposite because it turns out it's something else. So it's definitely made me check my knowledge. It's been real interesting.
Don't fall off your pedestal, please. You're my hero right now because okay, vintage is one thing. I've pretty much caught up on your typical vintage. Your typical vintage that we're going to find at the flea markets and the thrift stores, right? I've ran through all of Jeffrey's stuff, all of Scott, Old Curiosity. He does like earlier vintage, like 20s and stuff. Of course, Ashley with her hens and her owls, and then, Drew and Jocelyn. Now I'm doing Fatbird Finds and the other girls. What was I going to say? But antiques, that's a whole different ball game. Oh my gosh, that's a whole different ball game. And so Dr. Lori is an acquired taste, but George is friendly. George is nicer to look at and to ingest his information. So
well, thank you.
Wednesday, right? Are you going to expand that? I know it takes a lot of time. You probably won't. Every Wednesday you do the premiere and you chat with us. I love premiere where you chat, where he's in there chatting with us because it's not
fun. We always see each other on there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hi there. Oh, it's so good to see you in person.
I was going to introduce you guys any second. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to work my way up to how I met you guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you. I'm in Dawson Springs now. I'm not that far from you. So we're in the same little local lockdown. I kind of lost the thread of what you were saying there, but
you were ever going to expand your premiere?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna try to do some more, especially while we're all shut in more, because I do have some material, and I think what I'm gonna start doing is like a Wednesday Sunday or a Wednesday Saturday, something like that. But what I'll do is on Wednesday I'll talk about when I'm gonna do bonus stuff and make sure everybody knows about it.
Well, that would be so awesome for us, but I totally understand when things go back to normal, you're very busy and you're the nomad, so we may not get much more than Wednesday out of you.
I do my best. I want to commit to what I know I can do. I learned a long time ago that I get in trouble when I try to tell everybody I can do everything. I used to be that guy, and I know better now.
Okay, so now I'm sliding into Fatbird Finds. I can't really remember how I met you, but just in all this thing, you guys are kind of relatively new too. You just opened up your channel. You guys are delightful.
Yes.
I know your sisters. I'm sure everybody does. The banter between you two is just, I don't know, it's just delightful. But you guys have kind of different aesthetics, actually.
Yes,
so anyway,
absolutely.
Here's Laura and Mary Beth. And wait a minute. Laura is the brunette, Mary Beth is the blonde. That took me a while.
Well, I'm sort of brunette at the moment. I can't really keep that up.
Yeah, I got some box in stock, thank goodness. And I've got some press-on nails, so I can do my nails.
So yeah, Laura has an awesome background in antiques. I'll let you say a little bit about that.
Yeah, Yvon, you might not know this, but my mom has had an antique store and my grandmother. So I'm third generation at least. And George, you're going to have to come to Paducah.
Oh, believe me, I want to do a video in her store if you don't beat me to it.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. You'll be better at it. So you knock yourself out. Come on down. But yeah, so I really have a long time background, but I don't retain the kind of knowledge that my mom does. She's really the knowledgeable one. But sometimes she tells me what to say. George, she loves watching your channel.
Aw.
So yeah, and Mary Beth is the technology person, and we have so much fun. And I think people do enjoy our banter, and we're not making it up. This is like every day.
Yeah, I'm just the sidekick. I don't know a lot of antique knowledge or vintage knowledge, so I'm just kind of the sidekick along for the ride.
We went live last night for the first time, and we had a lot of fun. We just played around, and we all answered questions and, funny Q&A and that kind of stuff. And we did that for about an hour. It was over before we knew it, but it was fun. I guess nobody else can do anything on Friday night.
Yeah, I just missed it. I was upset, but I'm going to go back and watch it. I caught half of Jeffrey and Aaron and Barb as they were trying to figure out how not to be sideways on their phone. So that was fun. The last thing
looks much better today.
Are there any more railroad questions from Aaron? I died laughing when he said that. But anyways.
We are very humbled to be on with all you guys. Jeffrey, it's nice to meet you. We watch you all the time. And Lindy, we watch you too. And of course, George knows because we chat with George. But it's great to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm so excited. Put your link, or if I have any mods in here, can somebody grab their YouTube link? Because I think you have to be a mod to put a hot link in, right? I already put in Jeffrey's and Antique Nomad, and I put in Lindy's. Of course, everybody knows Lindy though. So, well, do you guys have any questions? How are you doing? Do you have toilet paper? How's your food stock? How's your kids? Are you getting a divorce yet? What's up? Check in.
I think we're doing pretty good. I think we've got a lot of supplies. We hit the stores early. I think we saw it coming. And I think we're in pretty good shape. I think our biggest downfall is we really haven't seen each other much. So we haven't been able to make new videos. That's why we went live last week. We didn't really have any content. So yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm considered essential. I work at the bank. That's my day job. So
Where?
It feels at the bank.
Oh, is that essential? Yeah, I guess so.
Shh. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's essential for people to get their money. So yeah, we've still been waiting on customers and drive through and that kind of thing. So it feels kind of normal to me.
Hey, can I ask
Yeah,
you
we
a question?
both have.
I'm sorry. It's casual. If we run over, there's a 10-second delay. So if we run over each other, I'm so sorry. Banks, are we in danger of people freaking out and like going and pulling all their money and putting it under their mattress? Are we in danger of that? You seen any signs of people freaking out, going to get their money?
I really don't think so. We've had just really one or two at the most people that want to do that. I know that really one or some of the bank officers have went out and made personal visits to people to reassure them that there's nothing happening. The interest, of course, is...
Wait, what? Personal visit? I'm
yes.
sorry. Because I had a salesman
bank
at my door, and I was not happy about that last week. Seriously.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Anyways.
But yeah, the banks aren't in any danger, I don't think. And really people haven't been freaking out too much.
No, they put trillions of dollars into credit markets. I mean, I think the banks will be okay for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're all getting a check. We're all getting $1,200, aren't we?
There you go.
It's going to flow in
I'm dreading
now. And if you're 1099, you can also still apply for other things. But I think automatically we're all getting $1,200 in the next couple of weeks. I might donate mine. I really don't need it. The only reason I would use it is if food prices keep going up. I'm vegan. And George and I were talking about this. Where are we going to get our vegetables, our fresh vegetables and fruits? I don't know.
I bought seeds.
Huh? Yeah, seeds. We were talking about that. Seeds. Like, push comes to shove, I'm probably going to grow a garden just to be on the safe side. I don't know what's going to happen. And even when this is over, and we go back to the new normal, I think it's going to be a while before people stop social distancing. There's still going to be a little of it, don't you think? I mean, we're all still going to be a little, not all of us, some of us are going to still be a little leery. I have a compromised immune system. It's nothing real major, but I got hypothyroid, just something old women get a lot. So, it's not real major, but still, it's slightly compromised. It's considered a compromised immune system. So,
Well, honestly, if it keeps going, they're going to give all of us masks and gloves and say, go back to work. Because, I mean, at some point, right? And so.
Kind of will have to, right? They'll have to restructure how factories run a little bit.
Yeah, well, Ford said they're already doing that and that they're ready to reopen. They've got a whole plan. So who knows? It might happen faster than you think.
And, you know, that might be a good thing because there are some factories in America, the land of the free, that borderline on slave labour. Slave labour? Never say it. You say it, because I love when you mispronounce words sometimes. It's so cute. Slave labour. I can't even think of it now. You guys know what I'm trying to say? Slave labor. Oh my gosh. Okay, someone else talk for a while. That's it.
Well, so what is everybody doing for, like, okay, we're running low on merchandise. We've got all our stuff. We're not sure about content. So what can we do to keep things going? I mean, I notice people are doing challenges and they're trying to get people involved with, you know, doing other stuff. I was thinking of presenting a challenge too. In fact, I think I might. You know, what can we do to just keep each other entertained?
Well, feel free to have a reseller drive-by too of your own. Really, I don't even care.
I was personally considering, because I am not short on things to list at all. As a matter of fact, on Monday, I have 3 pallets getting delivered. So I'm going to have lots of stuff to list. So I was considering just live streaming for a couple of hours every single week while I list. Just like setting it up, be like, I'm listed stuff. Let's all list together. What are you listing? I was considering doing something like that because I feel like if I try to make it fun for myself, I'll actually make myself do it, because it's really hard to be motivated if you feel stuck and there's kids around and my husband's annoying me, and you know, and it's hard to feel the motivation to get work done, because this is kind of a time where it's okay to not be productive, right? Like, it's like you have permission. Oh, everybody's quarantined. Everybody's shutting down. Go watch movies, binge watch that TV show that you've been wanting to see. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like you have all this permission to not do anything handed to you. And so I need to stop not doing. And Yvon is probably laughing inside when I tell her I need to stop being lazy, because Yvon is like, I don't even know how you pulled off half the stuff you did last week. But I
Benjamin and like
I do feel like I haven't been as productive, and so I feel like, well, maybe if I, you know, say, okay, Friday afternoons, I'll just live stream for a few hours and I'll just work. And maybe that could be motivation for other people to sit and list, because like I'll listen to YouTube videos while I work. I just put them on and then
get into that.
What? Who was that?
Oh, okay, you guys going for a walk? Okay, bye-bye. I love you.
Yeah, there's no way at the end of that.
I told him it was super casual. Come talk to me if you need to. That's my husband, Steve. He's taking G-Paw and the dog out for a walk.
G-Paw.
But yeah, I love the idea of like a challenge. I don't know what kind of challenge you'd pick though. I always get super down about like listing challenges. Like I will list 10 things every single day, or, you know, 100 things this week. Those kind of make me go, because I can never finish them because things happen. So like some sort of a challenge that is easy enough to accomplish, but it still keeps you productive and you don't feel bad if you can't accomplish it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think easy is good. You know, make it simple for us all. I actually am thinking we're all living through sequestering of some sort, right? So everybody has like some little sanctuary, some little place in their house, some room, and I'm thinking maybe we should all just you know, show off some of our collections, show off, you know, here's my safe place, here's where I'm living now, and here's the cool stuff I have and what I got. I know people are doing little like, you know, well, here's some things I got at the thrift store, but I mean, let's just show off our cool stuff. I mean, we're all sitting at home, right? It's the one chance we have to actually clean things and make them look good. And put all the piles of resale stuff out of the camera view.
kind of like the stuff that's keeping us happy when we're stuck inside.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, well, let's cook something up.
I like that.
Yeah, let's do it, George.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do a video of my place and put it out, and then just say, "Hey, everybody, I'll show you mine if you show me yours." How's that?
Awesome.
That sounded really wrong, but you know what I meant.
I like it.
George making friends again. Jeffrey, you got all the supplies you need? You got toilet paper? Give him a minute to answer, you guys. He's having a storm over his house.
Oh, I don't think I can hear him.
Oh, we lost Jeffrey.
Audio check.
We got you? Say something.
We see you. We can't hear you.
Oh, maybe he'll come back in. Maybe
he'll come back in.
Adjust and come back in.
Yeah, the storm's coming our way next.
I don't know what I did. So
Zeno, you're hilarious.
Oh, no, I'm not so yellow. When I first started, I was talking to Lucy that I went over to Steve and Steph, Resell Killers. Lindy knows. Fatbird Finds, you guys know Steve and Steph, Resell Killers. They started out reselling, and then they switched to dumpster diving, and now they've got like 300,000 followers in less than a year, and they've got a TV show pending. Anyways, they're crazy. But what they've been doing is, they're in California. What they've been doing is having games. Like last night, they played charades. There was 500 people in their chat playing charades.
Wow.
So I'm probably going to steal some of their ideas, because I've got some. Last week I played with that crowd. They had some cards that from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and iconic stuff. And they give us a clue and we have to guess. Well, I've got some of those cards too from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I might run a game like that. I'm not going to get 500 people like they get, which is good, because you can't, 500 people in a chat. Have you ever seen that? Lindy's seen it. She gets that many sometimes. You can't even tell what's happening. But so a smaller group actually would be quite lovely to actually get to play. Oh, Michelle, awesome. Yeah, Michelle's one of their mods. So, last night, what was it, Michelle? Charades? Oh my God, that was hilarious. Okay. Anyways, where were we? I'm trying to get Stephanie and Ashley Rose to come in, but I don't know. I put out for other people who say they want to stop in for a while, but we'll see.
Well, you might only have me for a couple more minutes, because I'm going to have to go rescue my husband.
Yeah, I've had you longer than I thought, girl. I really didn't. Stay on this.
Well, this is my escape. I got to go live. You got to watch him here. take the little one. But no, while we were sitting here. Okay, now that I have you all here, though, let me ask you. So a little bit ago, I was on my phone. I probably looked really confused. But I have a customer. I don't want to say hate, because I appreciate every single customer, but I really dislike these situations. So I had a customer say, "You sent me the wrong thing," which has been known to happen, right? Like, you can accidentally send them the incorrect thing. They're telling me what they ordered. They're saying what I sent them. They sent me pictures, and I sent them exactly what they ordered. And so how would you approach this situation? Do you tell them, you got exactly what you bought? Your picture matches my picture. It is the exact same thing. Why do you, and even the wordage, I'll just go ahead and tell you. They say, "I received the Olay Sensitive Hungarian Water Essence Calming Facial Cleanser." And that's not what I ordered. I ordered the Olay Sensitive Calming Liquid Facial Cleanser.
What makes the one Hungarian?
Same thing. It's the same thing. And their picture matches my picture. And because a part of me wants to respond and say something like, are you being serious? Are you joking? Like, are you trying to play with me? That's exactly what you got. It's what you ordered. So now I get to deal with this. And how would you handle that? How would you say you got what you paid for and just move on? What would you do?
Yeah, it sounds like you're being punked, but I think I would just write them back and be like, look, I don't understand the issue.
Yeah, I don't understand where the problem is. I don't know. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens occasionally.
When you first read the description, the only word I heard different was Hungarian. What could that be different, or do they just think that makes it different? I mean, is it?
You know what? You very well could be right. That they didn't realize maybe that it's Hungarian water essence. But that's what's in the picture. It says Hungarian water. So I don't know.
Sounds crazy. Well, you're all a lot more patient than I am. I mean, when I get, and I'm sorry, there is such a thing as a stupid question sometimes, and I'll get people like, it says right in the thing, this is the red one, and they're like, is it the red one? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I know a good eBayer would say, yes, it's the red one. I always say, please refer to the description. I'm just like, go back and try reading it again, because I already did that.
I'll get the people that say, what's the expiration date? And I just go to the listing and I say, well, the expiration date is it's in the listing.
As previously stated.
As shown in the photos in the listing.
Michelle says the Hungarians had to move suddenly. Sorry for the inconvenience. I like that.
There's a blockade.
It doesn't say Hungarian in the title. Maybe that's why they saw Hungarian on the bottle and they're like, I didn't order Hungarian water essence.
I'm from Austria and I hate them. Yeah, who knows?
If I would have known this was Hungarian water essence facial cleanser, I wouldn't have bought it. I don't know. Anyways, what are some of the weird customer requests or questions that you all get? I'm curious. Because you guys sell totally different things than I do.
Well, so often it's about some weird aspect of some weird thing. What I get, and I've learned to try not to list things that you can't physically demonstrate. If it's something with moving parts, they always want not just to know that it works, they want you to somehow show them that it works. And I'm like, really? So I have to go figure out how this 100-year-old thing works and then shoot a video of me using the 100-year-old thing. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, some things. I had one, my favorite one. I sold this thing and it was out of a submarine and it was to help guide the torpedo at the target. And I sold it and I sent it to them and then they wanted a refund because there's no way we can prove that this works. And I'm like, yeah, unless you have a nuclear attack submarine, there is no way to prove that this works. I can't help you with that.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
So I took it back.
What about you, ladies?
We haven't really gotten any super weird requests. We're relatively new. I think the most annoying thing we get are like super lowball offers on our eBay listings. So just things that are just, kind of an insult that they're so low. No weird requests yet.
No, and I think we're kind of lucky on the vintage side because, they're usually one of a kind and people sort of, have the knowledge that they kind of get what they get.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, a lot of times the collectors, they kind of know what they're looking for in advance because they wouldn't even know how to look it up in the first place it's not so much like a browsing thing and maybe I just find something I like. They're usually pretty targeted. So they usually have some idea about their stuff. I wish Jeffrey had been able to come back because I'm sure he gets more of this because he deals with a lot of small items and distinct things. But I don't know. It just seems to me that the biggest thing I find is that you have to be so particular in the description. If you don't put the dimensions in, somebody's going to want to know the dimensions. If you don't put, so you really have to think through them, because the products are all distinct. What you need to describe an antique doll is very different than what it takes to describe a plate. What characteristics are important, what do people, and especially if you're getting into something where I deal in a lot of different things. I sell stuff on consignment for people too. So I could end up with just anything, and it might be something I've never seen before. And so trying to figure out, how do I describe this in a way that the collector of that item will understand the qualities of this piece? It can be a real challenge. I mean, I really spend a lot of time looking at other people's listings before I list things, because, you kind of figure out, okay, who got the most money for it? They must have said it right. Let's follow that,
Exactly.
We do that too.
Yeah.
Poor Stephanie over there, Thrifting Adventures, in the comments. She says, I've had people ask for me to show them a picture of me wearing the clothing item. That's creepy.
I never thought of that.
I wish Stephanie would come in, but I can't talk her into it. But she's in the chat, Thrifting Adventures. She's got a fun channel too. She's one of the other vintage girls that started a new channel. I can't remember where Stephanie lives. Wisconsin? No.
Washington.
No, she's Vancouver, Washington.
Okay. She's a nice girl too. Anyways, if you click on her face or the dots on the side, depending on what device you're using, you can find people's channels to go subscribe. Washington. And I just talked to Chrissy, Frugal Living. She's on her way. She's going to pop in for a while.
Oh, one thing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but just really quickly, I just noticed something I didn't have the live comments on until just now, because it's my first time doing this. Sorry to be such an idiot. But I just noticed one that said, tell them why you prefer shows over eBay. And I think since we're talking about eBay listings, I just real quickly will address that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The thing about shows is I can sell 100 or 125 items at a 3-day antique show, and it's a lot of work to drag the stuff out and set it up, and you're dealing with crowds back when we did that sort of thing, and all of that. And so it's not for everybody, but I'll tell you, I can't list 125 items in the same period of time that I can sell 125 items at a show. And so that's one of the reasons I really like the shows, besides getting, to talk in person and that connection, is also the fact that there's a certain, eBay is really great for the buyer. It's a little inefficient in some ways for the sellers, especially vintage merchandise. I mean, I was looking at the stuff, people are saying, do you have stuff to sell still? And I'm looking at this really great thing I found. I'm like, oh, I could list this. And then I go to pick it up and I realize it weighs 75 pounds. This is a show item. I can't sell this on eBay. There's just no way I can ship this thing. So, it's a trade-off. I mean, you get this huge international market, and rare things will sell for way more on eBay because you find that one person who really loves it, but it's kind of, it really is a trade-off. eBay is great for certain things in antiques and vintage, and some things it's just too much of a hassle. They have to hold it. They have to feel it. They have to see that it works right. They just won't trust it in a picture. So,
Well, another thing I've noticed, like the last show you had, while you were filming, you were picking and sourcing. Then you took it straight over to your booth when you opened it and put it for sale.
That's awesome.
I mean,
it is such a crazy thing. People are always blown away. I call it the turn and burn. If I can buy something at a show and sell it at the same show before I leave, I consider that a huge accomplishment. And it really is it happens a lot. I bought 10 things at the last show and 4 of them sold before I left the show. I mean, it's just, and it was a huge show. The people who I bought it from were like 1,000 feet away from me, like 500 vendors through a field. And I just thought, now there are some dealers who think it's really tacky. If you buy it from me, you better take it home. I don't want to see you put it out at this show. And I'm like, you know what? You bought it. It's yours. If you can sell it before you go, have fun. But if things get the scent, it seems, this is probably different for you, Lindsay, because, Lindy, I'm sorry, bad with names, because you're dealing with things that are more a commodity that people need and want all the time. But so often with the antique thing, I mean, if it's a huge show, somebody isn't going to get through the whole show. If there's 1,000 dealers, they're going to run out of gas or money or something. So you can buy something and move it 50 feet and it looks like a new thing. And the thing that you just bought always is the first thing to sell. It's like it has the scent of, ooh, this is exciting because you just got it. And I don't even know how the people know that. I can put something out that I've had at 50 shows and no one will look at it. It could be the best thing in the booth and everyone will walk right around it. But the thing I bought 5 minutes ago, they'll pick right up.
Wow. That's George, that is so true. And even though my mom doesn't do shows, we used to when I was little, but that's the same idea in her shop. Like she always has to rotate and bring in new things, even though she has a store full of things. And probably 80% of what sells is new. I mean, is new to her, new to her shop.
Exactly. And then the problem is what do you do with the 20% of stuff that sits there forever because everybody has seen it. And that's where the land of eBay is wonderful for me because it's like, oh, those people haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
okay,
it all works well.
So I have, before I go, because I do have to go here in a few, I have a question. Since y'all all sell antiques and way different stuff than I do, it's kind of a funny question, but it's a serious question. And you might even consider it if it's an actual thing. But have you ever, or would you ever, if you found an old doll, would you market it as a haunted doll to sell it for more money on eBay? True question. Because I mean, think about it. So, I mean, you could, like, dolls can sell for really good money, right? Like, I don't know anything about vintage antiques. No, I'm not good with that kind of stuff at all. But I've seen my dad, because my dad is into that. My dad will flip antiques and weird random stuff that I think has zero value, and he'll somehow make $100 off of it. But so just from seeing my dad do that, I know that like toys and dolls and stuff can bring really, really big money. But what if you just go to an estate sale and you just see just a doll that's worth $10? Have you thought about putting it on eBay and claiming that it's haunted and charging $100 for it? Would you? Have you?
I don't think I've really considered that, but that's interesting. I don't think I would do that unless I had heard a story about it or unless something creepy had actually happened.
Yeah, George will probably attest to this. I told Mary Beth, I wrote down, I bet George says something about provenance, but it makes all the difference in the vintage world if you have the provenance of an item, the story, any kind of story. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that I would make one up.
Yeah, because I mean, it's especially with YouTube, you could really do like market research a little bit and see what people are buying. Because like people, like there's entire videos about, I bought this haunted doll and let's film it for 2 hours and live stream it for 2 hours and see if it moves, like all this weird stuff. And then suddenly people go on eBay looking for haunted dolls or, things like random things that are trinkety things that someone's got a creepy story behind it. So I just think that's an opportunity. Wink, 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 wink. It's an opportunity for
it's a good marketing plan.
There you go. Yes, we like our horror movies. That's right, Scooter. But I mean, I've watched a couple of the YouTube videos. That's why I know about it. So I've watched the videos. Oh, I hear me.
That might be.
Oh, I hear me. Yeah, I'm trying to find an adapter.
Oh God, do I really sound like that?
Oh, so Christy's on her way, and Unapologetic Soul.
All right. Well,
they're on their way. I don't know.
On that note, I am going to go rescue my husband from my 5-year-old tormenting him.
Oh, tell Matt thank you. Thank you, Matt, yes. If you're watching. Thank you. Love you. We'll talk to you later.
It was so good to meet everybody.
Yeah,
I'm so happy I got to meet all of you.
You too, Lindy.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Lindy. I'll talk to you later. Jeffrey, could I unmute you? Are you good?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Hey.
Okay. Am I not choppy anymore?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm on my phone, obviously. Vertical.
I'm just waiting on Chrissy, Frugal Living, to show up. She recently narrowed her niche down to just vintage clothing. She used to do a little bit of everything. She's up in Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon, and they do mostly the bins. So it's kind of incredible to see what vintage clothing she pulls out of the bins. It's kind of incredible. So I'm waiting on her to pop in, and Unapologetic Soul also. So we'll just chat a little bit more too. If you guys can stay, that's great.
Zeno says all dolls are haunted.
That's probably true.
Yeah, they can be. It's funny. I have to be honest. I love the stories behind things, and I love hearing a good story. And if it seems plausible, I'll repeat a good story. But I'm not into making things up about things. I figure people can buy it and make their own story because, it's part of it is because I do appraisals. It's really been beaten into my head. You must make an honest representation of these things. And so anything that's like playing a little fast and loose, I personally don't feel comfortable with as far as describing. Now it's fun I'll do fun things on my tag sometimes, like, oh, look, it's like Twiggy War, that sort of thing, or, refer to something referential in pop culture. Oh, this is Bob Newhart's bookends, because they were on the show, but nobody really thinks they were his, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Now, Jeffrey, are you still, how did the closures of everything affect? I know you were having a big sale in one of your malls. Were you able to close that space out before all of this, or is everything just sitting there?
No, that booth is now done. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that booth is gone. I'm down to 2 spaces now, which I'm really happy about. I can kind of devote my energy more to those spaces. It was a little bit too much with 3. So yeah, I was able to get out of there really well, and the price is right. See, the mall owner actually cut me a deal on the first 2 spaces that I got. And then whenever I went to add a third, the deal wasn't as great to begin with. So now I'm kind of back down to our original agreement, and it works out in my favor, actually, more so. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I know when I first started doing malls, I got, 1 space is great, I'll do 2. And well, okay, each has its own flavor, and they did fine. And then you start adding more. And after a while, one of them ends up being just the place I put all the crap that doesn't go in the other 2, So yeah, that's great. I'm glad you were able to get that done before all of this. I'm not sure what's happening exactly with malls. I'm in 7 or 8. And, most of them are shut, and the ones that are open are, having very little business right now. But they're all saying that they can get help with all these funds that they're putting out, that they're all going to be able to get loans and keep their staff and reopen. And, so at this point, it all sounds like it's just going to, pick back up where it stopped, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
I really of course, my foundation is the flea markets, the big indoor flea markets. I've told this story all across the internet, but my new vintage friends probably don't know. So this would be the late 80s and 90s. We would go into indoor flea markets because, climate controlled, air conditioned. I'm in Texas. I'm in Dallas, Texas now, so it's got to be indoor.
I feel you.
So we would go in and we would get 8 booths and tear down the walls and make a big store, and put a locking door on it. So we had about 9 of those big stores of different variations. So I kind of, cut my teeth that way. Now, I don't ever want to do that again, but I kind of want to have a booth, but because I want to be like the crazy vase lady, because I'm addicted to that's my first go-to is let me go see the glass vases because I like to sell art glass and it's functional too, right? So it makes sense. Okay, how do you deal with theft? That totally freaks me out. Yes, Morph, originally from Dallas. I've been in Colorado for 21 years. Morph was asking me a question. Okay. How do you deal with theft? It just freaks me out.
Well, I'm sure I have some theft at the mall, but I'm not the best at keeping track of what I've got. Now that they have changed the system where I can see exactly what I have in my spaces, I technically can keep track of that. But before I was just putting anything in there and putting a price on it. But now it's all barcoded. I just think it's one of those things you kind of have to take with the business. It's retail, and you can't really take it personally, which, it's hard to say that, but it's with vases. I don't think you might have a huge problem because they're large.
What I'm thinking, what could I do where they can't really stick it in their pocket? Might get
a vase in someone's
every
pocket
once in a while, but I'm thinking vases on one side, and of course I'm hashtag save the smiley. That's my other little gimmick. I'm all about the smiley faces. Everybody gets a smiley face mug if I send you fan mail. All my friends and family locally. Anyways, so I'm thinking all smiley face, cool stuff on one side, and all cool vases on the other. I don't know. I might try it.
Well, and then you just say, is that a vase in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Going for the ratings, thanks.
No, seriously though, theft is a real issue. I ran a bunch of antique malls. That's how I got into this. And we had some terrible security problems. It was worse before eBay, because before eBay, people would steal things because they thought they could fence it. Then eBay changed everything, and then stuff that they thought was super valuable wasn't as much anymore. So then that kind of took that out of it. But mainly, and I actually hope to do a video on how do you choose an antique mall if you want to go into an antique mall, for example, as a reseller. How do you do that? What do you look for? And I think the first thing I look for is if I walk into a place and they don't greet you and they don't look at you and they don't say hello, I know from talking to shoplifters, because I used to run an outlet center and we had a shoplifting seminar, and they showed a film and they said, if no one greets me in the first 45 seconds, I know I can take anything I want. So if I go into an antique store and nobody greets me or says anything, I know I don't want to sell there because they're not paying attention and stuff's going to walk out the door.
Is that why all these stores started hollering hi to you as soon as you walk in, like at Ross?
That's right.
Should be ringing people up, but should be like, welcome to Ross.
It's why Walmart has a greeter because of security, not because they're being nice to you.
Got it.
Just for security.
It's a psychological thing. Huh? It's a psychological thing. They're wanting to. I don't know the exact psychological things, but it goes into your psyche of you want to put a positive impression on it, where you don't want to make them get in that mind. Like, you want to make them feel really guilty if they have the urge to steal, I would say.
And like now that they're aware that you're in the store.
Exactly. They had this shoplifting seminar, and they actually the police came and showed it to the managers of our outlet center, and they said that they had they actually showed people who'd been multiple arrests for shoplifting, and one was a 75-year-old woman at the time. She had started shoplifting when she was a teenager in World War II because she ran out of rations for her nylons, and she said she got such a thrill out of it that she continued to shoplift for the rest of her life. And they said, well, what do you look for? And she said, if they don't notice me, I can take anything I want. And if they say hello to me, I figure they can identify me. So I just turn around and go to the next store. I can always find one where they're not paying any attention. And I was just like, wow. She was so brazen. It was amazing. And by the time they're interviewing her, she's like this little grandma who looks all cute. And you're just like, oh, you evil woman.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there's a lot you can do to prevent theft, really. I mean, the rule of thumb I've always had in a retail store is if it's smaller than your hand and worth more than $50, lock it in a showcase. Just do it. It just saves so much of your problem. And there's certain things that you don't want to put in unless you have really good security. Like I've had a big coin theft out of a store, so I don't put coins in most stores anymore. You have to be careful with fine jewelry. I mean, there's some pretty obvious things that you don't want to just leave unattended. But most stuff, when I look back, and I'm like Jeffrey, I don't keep as close track of my inventory as I should either. But most stuff, when I look back and figure out what's been sold or taken, it's usually real little stuff. It's kind of opportunity on a whim. I didn't have the money and I like this shiny thing and I put it in my pocket. I mean, it's not like pros going and really hitting you for big stuff.
I was talking to a flea market owner around here, and he was telling me that a lot of the people that steal are the older ones that, they have money. They know a good deal when they see it, and they just put things in their pocket. Yeah. And the other thing is, yeah, I think a lot of people steal like things that aren't even that expensive. They're just because they can. Like maybe it's $5 or less. So it just goes with it. I don't know if there's a lot we can do. I mean, there's some things we can do, but if people have that mentality, they're going to do it.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, Jeffrey, you'll know here probably in about a month because I saw where your place was switching over to barcode.
Right.
Kind of cool.
Well, there's that. And
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it's not just people stealing things. There's price switching. That's a huge one. So with the barcodes, it helps that because they're stuck on the objects. As much as people don't like that, that's why Goodwill does it. So like they have those stickers that you can never get off without soaking them. But that's why they don't want you switching price tags. And so with the new barcodes, we put descriptions on there that make that a little bit harder to do. You know,
I think I'm going to try it. Well, we'll see when we go back to the new normal. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get it out of my head. I think I'll stick with vases.
Yeah.
And then my smileys just for fun, because actually anything that's super, super cool, like I kind of want to do it on eBay because eBay has more eyes. I do find on eBay. So I don't know why I'm wanting to do that. I don't know why. I think, I know why, because sometimes I find cool vases and things that are a little bit bigger and heavier, like George touched on earlier, and we all know this is true, that are cost prohibitive, if I'm saying that right, cost prohibitive to really try to flip online. Like the shipping just makes it like, So that's why, because I see cool stuff and I'm like, cost prohibitive, but if I had a booth, bam.
Then I could sell it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you end up with a storage house.
Like I bought a big, I've got like a 3-foot pink Hager vase. Okay. It was $10. And I said, no, the first time I'm like, I'm not shipping that. Then it made it to the half price sale because pink is going to be coming back because we're going to do the 80s and 90s again, but it's not quite there yet, right? It's a pinkish peach, but it'll sell somewhere. But when it got down to $5, I'm like, okay, I got to save this big Hager. So now it's downstairs and I'm like, I guess I'll try to sell Facebook Marketplace or something, or that's the beginning of my antique mall booth place or whatever. Also, one more thing, because I'm going to bring in Apologetic Soul and Chrissy's on her way. You guys don't do booths, but Laura, your mom had a store, right? Or your grandma. Okay. Should I pick a mall that is strict with their rules or not? What gets more traffic? Because I can answer that myself. I want to be able to put in modern stuff too. So never mind. I could answer that myself. But you can answer it generically anyways, though.
Well, I was just going to say to your point earlier is the appeal of having a booth is because you can't show off all your stuff at home, that you have online and everything. You can't enjoy it at home because you can't have a wall of vases at home. I guess you could, but you won't. So it's just fun to have your own booth and redecorate.
That's what I want to make sure. I'm like, okay, do you just want to be a show off and like decorate, have another house to decorate? Is that what you're really after, Yvon? But I don't know.
Well, for some people, that is what they're after, and it's a fun thing to do. But, I think there's still a place for the stores, the antique malls and things in retail. I mean, they aren't all the centers of high-end wonderful stuff that they used to be, but there's vendors malls where you can mix old and new, and a lot of people do that now. And again, I think the same rules still apply. Are they professional? Do they greet you? Does somebody walk around? Do they care whether people buy stuff or not? How is it structured? Is it structured so that financially they need to sell stuff for you to make money, or do they get money just because they charge? I mean, I know one place near Seattle for a long time, they're like, oh, we don't charge any percentage for sales, but they charge this really high rent. Well, that was not an incentive for them to sell anything because they got their money, So you kind of have to look at things like that, I think, when you're making that decision. But also, there are some good things. And I don't know, Jeffrey, if you've had this experience, but some of the stores I'm in, they let me leave out my card. I've gotten appraisal business from it. I've had people call and say, oh, I saw you were selling this. I have a house full of this that I want to sell. you get leads from it. So there's other reasons to do it besides just selling the stuff. So it depends how it fits into your bigger business.
Yeah, the mall I'm in, the owner is really great about letting us know, the other resellers in the mall, about if a customer comes in and they have a house full of stuff and, they don't know what to do with it. So she kind of matches them with one of us. And can you hear me, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just really I don't know about this connection. So it's really nice. I actually got a few leads that way, and I bought a whole bunch of hall dishes in the autumn pattern. Autumn? Is it called autumn? I think so. It's that jewel tea dishes. They were a very slow seller, but it was still kind of fun. Pretty cool.
I'm trying. Okay, Loretta and Rob or Rob, Thrift Love Sell just popped in. I'm trying to get them in here because.
Oh, that's great. Well, I've gotten to be here for a long time, and I'm really enjoying it. But I'm gonna do a stream with Misty and Ashley and them tomorrow on Hoarder Hangout. So maybe I should step aside and let someone else have a turn. But
I really want you to meet them.
Oh, well then I'll stay.
So I'm going to pull in Apologetic Soul, and hopefully Loretta and or Rob will come in. They are up in Canada, just across the border, and they find some unique stuff. Oh my gosh. So she probably already follows you because she's smart. They just started their YouTube channel, or let's say focusing on it. So Thrift Love Sell. Let me bring in Apologetic Soul though, and I'll tell you what I love about her. Hi, we've never met in person.
Hi.
This is Apologetic Soul. I found her on Instagram. She is one of maybe 2.5 Instagram profiles that I follow that are strictly promoting their items. And I posted about her the other day because I'm like, you need to go, if nothing else, look at her merchandise. If nothing else, go look at her, the way she operates. Like, look at her style, the way she photographs, the way her mannequin has that sassy pose, the way she curates and puts the outfits together, and her captions. So I wanted her to come on too. So, because I don't know anything about her. Like, where all do you sell? You don't seem to. Do you just sell on your website or what?
I sell on eBay and Etsy. So I sell vintage clothing on Etsy, and eBay I sell anything and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I tried to
your bio, but I couldn't find anything but your website.
Well, see, it's a pattern website for Etsy. So it's kind of like a fake website, just basically leads you back to Etsy.
I didn't know that. I'm not a big Etsy seller. I didn't know that. So Jeffrey's a big Etsy seller.
I saw. Yeah, huge. And I was trying to ask, like, where are you making more money right now, on eBay or Etsy? I'm in the middle between both. The money comes faster with eBay, but people on Etsy are willing to pay more.
I pretty much mostly only sell on Etsy, but I find that the fees are actually a lot cheaper on Etsy as well. And you're right, people do tend to spend a little bit more on Etsy because, I don't know, it seems like whenever you're on eBay, you're looking for a deal more than anything. Yeah. And then you want to nickel and dime every little thing, and then you have issues with buyers, and then I don't necessarily like all the stories I've seen about eBay customer service. So
I'm sorry, my eyes just started to water. I put lotion on my face and it just got me.
We're casual today, believe me.
Sorry, 1 second.
You can pop out and pop back in, that's fine. We'll just hold your place.
Yeah, I like Etsy. Etsy shoppers are willing to pay more. I don't sell a lot of hard goods just because I hate to ship. I don't like shipping plates and stuff like that, but if I find something good, I will put it up on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, Loretta can't come in, darn it. But she's answering your question. I don't know how to say your first name. Toy?
Toy, yeah.
Toy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't join now. We're making more money on eBay now, and sales are up to 25%. We are selling mostly decor, collectibles. No clothes are selling. Loretta is another one that has an eye for design, and they find some cool stuff. most of my people already know Loretta and Rob. I've got to meet them in person at eBay Open in Vegas. It was great. They're just across the border in Canada. Please go to their channel. They've been really putting up a lot of content lately. And then Rob just recently took the dive. Like, he quit his job and he's now full-time. They're a full-time couple with kids. And well, until the shutdown, the lockdown, he was like doing little road trips. They have been finding some amazing stuff I'm so jealous of. Some great art glass too, which is one of my favorites. I really wanted to make sure George and Real Nifty Vintage had met Loretta and Rob Thrift Love Sell.
I haven't gotten
Their finds are my new vintage friends too, because Laura does have an eye for vintage as well, definitely. So I hope, if you guys already don't know about each other, I hope you'll cross sub and everything. But probably, I'm thinking you guys already know each other or follow. But,
well, I've been following everybody except it's really nice to meet you, An Apologetic Soul. I love that name, and I like vintage clothing, and I have a friend in Seattle. I understand you're in Portland?
No, I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which part of Florida?
South Florida, Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay, I'm sorry. See, I travel so much. Somebody said, "Oh, you're near where she is," but that means nothing because I'm everywhere. And so, okay, yeah. But anyway, I have a friend out in Seattle who loves vintage clothes, so I'll have to turn her on to you too.
Yeah, thrifting in Florida is great too, because we have such a high population of older people that the stuff that comes into the thrift stores, it never stops.
And especially where you are, like especially up towards Palm Beach. I can't believe a friend of mine who's mainly an antique guy, but he does all sorts of stuff, and he just has shopping Jones. He can't stop shopping.
I can't.
Every time I go over there and we go through Palm Beach to the thrift stores, he just pulls out like 20 shirts that are amazing, and they're like $5 or less. I'm just like, how can these be so cheap? And he's like, oh, people here have money. They don't care. They wear it once and they throw it away. You know, I mean,
yeah, that's one of the best things about South Florida is people move here. They bring all their winter stuff, like they're ever going to have a chance to wear it. They live here for a year, and they donate it all. So I find leathers and furs, everything for dirt cheap, because you couldn't sell a fur jacket in Miami if you wanted to.
No,
so
I tried.
Do you do more than just clothing that I just am not aware of?
Yeah, I have an eBay store. It's called Lady Yesterday. So on eBay, I sell everything that eBay's like my side chick, you know? So I get my quick money from eBay.
Okay.
And I do it full time. It's my full-time job. Yeah, I like it.
It is fun, isn't it?
I love it.
We follow Thrift Love Sell. I just started following them, and so hi, I see you in the chat. It'd be great to meet them sometime. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're impressive.
Adorable. So impressive. Such unique stuff.
Yeah.
Over in Canada. Oh my gosh. They're a blast. I've got to do things with them in person. It was great.
And they get, you know, one thing I've got to say about them that has been a good reminder to me is they really focus on higher end stuff. They're like, if we can't sell it for $20, we're not messing with it. And, you know, that'd be a good thing for me to learn someday. I've been told that my entire career. If you just spent more effort on the more expensive things, you'd sell just as much volume, and, you know, it'd be easier. And I've never listened to that, but I really should, because I watch them, and that's exactly what they do. And they really turn some real money on some really great stuff that, you know, I wouldn't have necessarily thought that way, because they're doing a lot of, you know, recent and you know, it's not vintage. It's not so much what I do, but they really do what they do well.
Some cool retro stuff too. So yeah.
They do get some, and there's some things that were made in Canada that are really desirable and collectible in the States that are hard to find in the States. So, you know, you don't see a lot of antique and vintage up there, but when you do, a lot of times people down here really want it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Chrissy's still fighting her way. Chrissy is frugal living. She runs Reseller Revolution. That's what she's logged in as. She is working her way to come on. She's the girl that's in Portland. She's used to just be general merchandise. Portland, Oregon. And then she kind of narrowed it down to just vintage clothing and predominantly from the bins. So she's wanting to come on, and I want her to come on, and she's kind of working her way over. So
well, the bins here in South Florida are an amazing place. I don't know how they are everywhere else, and I know everybody doesn't like it, but the bins here are something special.
I've never heard you talk about the bins, Jeffrey. You still there?
Yeah, I have people Facebook messaging me. It's kind of distracting. I've been to the bins once, and then I was recording, and I was told I could not record. And that was by someone who wasn't even a worker there, but I didn't know that. And but the bins that we have is over in St. Louis, and it's sort of a drive from where we are. Yeah. For hard goods, I wasn't that impressed, to be honest. Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't really. We haven't gone back yet.
It seems to vary, like Toy says. Yeah. It varies on location. What about you, George, and Fatbirds? I don't. I don't know what to say and use a group. I said something mean, but that's your name. Okay.
I've only been to the bins in Delaware, and I have to say I found it to be an amazing, fascinating experience that I never wanted to repeat. I may feel differently if I go somewhere where I find more of my kind of stuff, but I've got family there, and they were all excited. Oh, you love old stuff? Oh, we'll go. Well, I mean, they open the doors, and it's like this free-for-all with people running as fast as they can to get to the bin. I think I saw Jeffrey's the beginning of your bit. Did you put out a video, Jeffrey, with what you did film?
Yeah, I did.
I thought so, yeah. And I remember you showing like the mad scramble for everything. And the problem, again, like you said, as a hard goods seller, the hard goods were thrown in these bins, and there might have been nice stuff, but it's all getting tossed and tossed and tossed and more broken. And I just was like, ugh, this is not for me. But I never thought about them being in South Florida. And like you said, Toy, is it? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. Like you said, it's a totally different market down there. I bet they would be absolutely great down there, and that would be the place to do it. So I want to try it again, but maybe not where I did it before.
Yeah, I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, I've found some dynamite stuff there.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time, okay, I go maybe once every couple months. I psych myself up, nice fancy drink, diaper wipes in my pocket and stuff like that. I don't normally go to the bins like when I let people go first, and then I'll go pick through the pickings. I just don't fight. I don't want stuff thrown in my face. But I will say, every time I've gone, I have found a home run. So there's no denying that. I usually stick to the clothing. I've never really messed around with the hard goods because they were usually always broken. But now that I'm taking a deeper dive into vintage and opening up my hard goods again and making money, if I ever do go back, I'll be more open-minded. But can't say I love it, but it is profitable. It is a thing. So
yeah, we would like to try it sometime. Unfortunately, our Goodwill doesn't offer that option. Our Goodwill in Paducah is not the greatest Goodwill ever, but every once in a while we'll find something in there. But we don't have the bin option. But maybe we'll travel somewhere one day and try that out.
Nashville would be the closest, and I'm sure it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
We're only 2 hours from Nashville, so.
To Google outlet, we call them bins because of the big blue bins, but I think technically they're called outlets, on their website, if you're looking for locations. I don't know why in Reseller Community we call them the bins. Well, yeah, I do. I just said the big blue bins.
Well, I know that Toy is obviously in a place where thrifting is really great. I know Jeffrey does a lot of thrifting, although I know you travel. But you folks being in Paducah, and I'm here in Western Kentucky right now too. I have to say the thrifting here is terrible compared to most places. Has that been your experience too? I almost never find anything good in the thrift store around here.
It's pretty bad. We don't usually do a thrift with me video, just because I only find maybe one thing at a time. Mm-hmm. So, I'll go on my lunch hour, Mary Beth will go on her lunch hour. And so we have to kind of collect it all up and then do a video. We just recently have done a couple of online auctions, And that's super fun and way more profitable.
Yeah, and estate auctions too, and some tag sales locally within like the tri-state area. Those are really our best options.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed here too. In this area, it seems like the estates and the auctions are the place to get merchandise. And there's great stuff, but it's not in the thrift stores.
Agree.
See, our thrift stores are just overflowing with
Great stuff.
opportunity, especially if you're into hard goods, because the market for resellers, they're just not even like, of course they know the name brands, but if you're talking about something that's a little older or anything, they have no clue. So it's a gold mine here if you ever take a trip to do that.
Yeah, that's
Like
part
I
of why
said,
I
a
go
lot
there
of
in the
people that
winter.
are retiring and passing, their families just donate everything. They don't, so.
Yeah, it really is different down there.
I just want to say I'm going to go because my phone is dying and I cannot charge and have this adapter in the bottom of it at the same time. I'm just the most technology challenged person I know. Like,
oh, I'm right there with you.
Jeffrey, it's so nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. I just wanted to mention that before I just abruptly go, but yeah. So I will go ahead and sign out now. Bye.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Toy, did you say you had to check out too?
I can if you guys.
No, I thought no. Chrissy's getting ready to come in. I just sent her the link. Oh boy, I've been on for 2.5 hours.
You getting tired?
And some people that said they were going to come on have decided they can't come on. So, but maybe that's good because
you only have 5.5 hours to go.
Yeah. So we'll talk to Chrissy when she comes in, and then unless someone else wants to come in, I think I'll just go eat lunch. But this was pretty good. Oh, there she is. There she comes.
Yeah, this has been fun.
There's Chrissy. There we go. Yes.
Hi.
So this is Chrissy. I've already told them a little bit about you, that you recently narrowed your niche. You and Nick narrowed your niche down to vintage clothing. You're doing well, and predominantly from the bins, and you're up in Portland, Oregon. I really, if you hadn't already met these other people, I really wanted you to meet them. You might already know of Toy Unapologetic Soul, because she's one of the few Instagram accounts I follow that do just promotion of her items, because of the way she styles them. The way she curates and styles is incredible. So I put out something in IG last week to go creep on her and see how she does things. Fat Bird Finds just opened up a channel, Laura and Mary Beth, and they do a lot of vintage, but not all. And then everybody's new hero, George, the Antique Nomad. So great on vintage and antiques, and just a way OG, Chrissy. So I really wanted you to meet him too, in case you do look at hard goods again, So there's.
I love vintage fashion. That sounds fun.
I love it too.
Yeah. Go maybe subscribe to the Reseller Revolution, and but on Instagram, Chrissy, it's best to. What do you post most under? Reseller Revolution, you post most under Frugal Living, don't you?
I do. It's really difficult to manage like 5 Instagram accounts when like you work full time. And I've really slacked on the Reseller Revolution. In fact, it was like my New Year's goal is like, okay, I'm going to start posting daily on Reseller Revolution again. But I don't know. I haven't. But yes, so I post daily, or try to post daily on my Frugal Living, because that's like my personal reselling account. And I wanted Reseller Revolution to be just a broad knowledge of reselling or tips about reselling, and not necessarily personalized to my niche, which I haven't done. So yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? The people who share their eBay or Etsy store on their reseller page, do you ever like have a problem with that? Like of other, I don't know, like on your thrifting page to connect your eBay store? Like, is there ever a conflict with you? Like, okay, now I've shown people that I bought this for $5. and they go to my store and they see it's 50. Like, how do you guys?
It's a consideration. It's a consideration. There are many reasons why you may or may not want to tell people your exact store. Some people have 2 stores and keep one hidden for certain merchandise, especially if you're selling some certain niche products. But I personally, and I think Chrissy does too, find it helpful. You're open about your stores, right, Chrissy? And you even sell on Instagram sometimes, right?
Yeah, I actually were like and quarantine.
I think she got stuck.
Oh, she froze. She was having some technical difficulties. We'll just give her a minute.
You want to answer?
I don't mind. I would like to hear an answer.
So
we'll give her a minute.
Okay, George will think this is funny. My mom, having been in the business for forever, she's horrified that we say how much we buy things for and then sell them.
But we'll let Chrissy read.
Yes, it's a weird thing. I have, it's a fine line to walk. I'm running into it a little bit with just doing videos. I have people who go to the shows and know me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll go look at your channel." And then I realize, oh yeah, you just came to the show and now I'm telling you what I paid for the stuff I just sold you. And I actually had one person say, I really wish you wouldn't talk about what you paid for things. I really just want to like the item, know about the item, and know how much it's worth retail, so I feel good about my purchase. I don't really want to know about your purchase.
Interesting.
And I thought, boy, that's completely legit. But then the very next message I got was, it's so frustrating that you don't tell us how much these things cost you, because I'm trying to learn for reselling. And I'm like, well, that's a legitimate person I want to try to give information to as well. So I'm trying to kind of alternate it. Like I did one that was completely a haul video where I had shot it before I did my Florida show season. And then at the end of the Florida shows, I was like, let's go back and look at what I bought. And I'll tell you what I paid for it and what I sold it for. But one of the pieces was a person, that person who said, I don't want to know, was one of the pieces they bought, so I left it out of the video, you know. And so it's kind of, yeah, it's a debate. And you know, the old line antique dealers are just like, focus on the item, focus on the love of the item, and don't focus on the price. That's not the most important thing. So it is really, there's a lot of dissonance in my head about talking about what we paid for things, but that really is something a lot of people want to know.
Yeah, it depends on if you want to niche down your demographic, your audience. But Chrissy, are you back, girl? You want to finish your point?
I think so. Poor internet all over the country is taking a huge hit because everybody's online. Right. I was saying that now that I'm doing like daily what I'm listing, I'm realizing that people are reaching out and asking to buy, you know, that they're interested in the item that I showed. So I have been making some sales on Instagram, which was not my intention at all. Because honestly, I assumed that all my audience was all resellers and that resellers wouldn't want to buy vintage dresses, but they are. But I don't have a problem saying, telling people what my store is. And I think everybody knows how much I paid for items because I'm very upfront and honest that I source at the bins. I take a lot of time to prep my items and to restore them. So I feel confident in the prices that I'm asking. And also I know that other people aren't going to find that vintage dress that I just found.
Yeah, that's it. Most of us sell unique items where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So it depends on what you're trying to sell. There are some things I buy and sell that I never show in a thrift haul. There's some things every once in a while that I'm just like, buy, sell it. Nobody ever knows that it came and went. But for the most part, I do the same thing as Chrissy. And I've sold things that I've shown off of videos and Instagram. George, I know, has, because I bought something off of him that I saw in one of his videos. I'm like, wait. And that taught me never to be late on one of George's videos because I wanted 2 items, but by the time I watched the video, 18 hours later, hit him up and he answered, one of them was already gone. So
yeah, I think pretty much people lurk your stores because they want to see, are you telling the truth? Are you really selling the item for what you said you're selling it for? Are you really making those daily sales like you say you are? How much money? I mean, really, like, I think people are just lurking you to compare and to see if if you have street cred, like if what you're saying is valid or truthful. But I also understand the flip side that big resellers have to hide some of their solds or their store because people will target it, and then that could put you out of business.
Yeah, we've got a reseller right now, a reseller friend. I think she's a friend of Chrissy's too, that's getting pretty much under attack on her Macari store. I think she's getting a handle on it though. But yeah, but again, she doesn't really sell the kind of stuff most of us sell. She sells consumables and replenishables and, you know, high competition items. Things like what most of us sell in general. I don't think we really have to worry too much about that.
There's a comment over in the comment section from Oso Victoria. I have no problem telling what I paid because it is a business. Finding, cleaning, researching, photographing, description, selling, packaging, and shipping all take a lot of time. That's true.
What Chrissy touched on exactly. And like Chrissy said, go find another one. Okay, I'll sell this one. You go find
you can find that 1960s gunny sacks and soak it and hem it and bring it back to life and charge less than me. Go for it.
I never thought of that perspective, but I definitely will now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a reseller of toy. And the reason I know about your website, which I thought it was a website, but it's your extension for Etsy, is because you showed something that I wanted. So I went to your bio, found out, you know, followed the trail, you know, to go. And I didn't care how much it was. You know, if it would have fit me, I would have bought it. I didn't care. And I'm a reseller. I know you probably, you know, maybe paid $5 for this 50. I don't know, but I wanted it. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I have a thrifting Instagram page, but I never share my eBay store just for fear of, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just scary. I don't know. But I see lots of people have that link tree. So I'm like, do you share it or no?
What's in your eBay store? The same kind of stuff you show, or is it something different?
This kind of stuff that I show on my thrifting Instagram is the same that's in my eBay store. Not in my Etsy, but in my eBay store.
Nobody's going to bother you for that. Yeah, well, nobody's going to. It seems to be mostly, I don't know. I don't want to start gossiping about the reseller community. I really don't. You probably be fine, hon. Seriously.
Okay, yeah. I will. I'm not popular. I'm sure nobody would bother me, but you know.
Exactly. And I think there was some speculation that if you have people coming into your store but not buying anything, that you get pushed down in visibility or ranking because people are just looking around, but eBay sees it as that you don't have anything interesting or worth purchasing, and then they leave. But I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that work at eBay, and they kind of laugh at our old wives' tales that we have floating around there about algorithms and what eBay is doing, and they're like, we don't even have the capability of like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, they debunked that at eBay Open too.
Yeah.
We're still wondering about relevancy. That's been floating around for about a year and a half.
Exactly. And I will say that, so we have an eBay office here in Portland, and we actually do doggy daycare for 2 of the folks that work for eBay. And then I have a private buyer that used to work for eBay. And I asked her that specific question about relevancy because I actually feel like it's true. Like, I can list vintage all day long and it'll be something where I've misspelled the title, like it should never have sold, and it sells. But if I list a brand new Gucci with tags skirt that I've had for 2 years, it won't sell. And I feel like it's because I don't have relevancy in the modern women's fashion, but I have relevancy in vintage, which is its own category, which I've sold and have relevant. So I don't know. I kind of buy into that, but
it makes sense on paper, doesn't it? It makes perfect sense on paper.
Like, no.
We can prove it.
Yeah, she's like, no.
Interesting.
Oh,
Carve out certain categories for sellers, kind of thing. And I'm like, I swear.
Oh, well, what do you guys think? It's almost 3 hours.
You've done a great show, Yvon.
Yeah, people have been popping in and out. I don't know if you saw Lindy popped back in to say hi to you, Chrissy. There she is. Relevancy is a thing. Oh, Lindy believes in relevancy.
I believe it. I sort of like tell all of my there's a lot of resellers, like I frequently under the radar. They are not on social media, you know, they don't post anything, and they're making big about eBay. They've never heard any of this, you know, they've never have go try it. Go try to sell an item that anybody wants. Oh, I'm breaking.
It's all right.
Home and they're on their Wi-Fi, and I have the best $1 rebate.
Oh.
The internet's tired. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm about done anyway, so I'm getting hungry. No, it's okay. I really appreciate you even coming on, Chrissy. We haven't talked for quite some time. Chrissy's another one I got to meet in person at eBay Open. It was fun. She organized some little side parties that were awesome. It was fun. Well, what do you guys think? Unless you guys got something you want to chat about, I'm ready to go eat.
You better go eat your lunch.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
But wait a minute. Who's got something coming up next? Reseller Revolution, you've kind of stopped your panel show for a while, right, Chrissy?
Man, I have like 3 videos I need to upload.
Okay. But you're not doing the panel shows with the girls anymore.
No, we are going. We thought.
Unapologetic.
Yeah.
Go ahead, girl. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute.
We just back together, but everybody.
Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that. Just go over to Chrissy's. Chrissy, post something in the chat, I think. And that way they can grab your name and go find that channel, Reseller Revolution. Because there's some good people on there. Loretta, Amazing Taste goes on with you. And for the, what is Christina's name now? For the Love of Resale? I can't remember. She changed her name. I can't remember either. She's hilarious though. Anyways, so go grab Chrissy's site too, you guys. Unapologetic Soul. Toy, you don't do YouTube yet, right?
No.
Fatbird Finds, go grab their new YouTube channel. Definitely Antique Nomad. You're coming up next. You're going to do Sunday on Misty's channel, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, with Ashley Rose, who I talked to her. She said her daughter Avery is jumping off the walls, is why she can't come in. But Ashley, I don't know if you're in the chat, but I love you. I really wanted you to come on, but that's okay. But I'll see you on your guys' panel show on Misty's channel. George is the guest, right? So that's going to be fun. Of course, do not miss George, his premiere. He'll be in the side chat with his sidekick, Morph, who I think is the cameraman. I'm not sure. Every Wednesday, he does a premiere for us, but he's in the side chat, okay? It's not live, and it's not just a upload. He's in the side chat with us. We love that. There it is. Reseller Revolution. She's Frugal Living on Instagram and Reseller Revolution. Please go and subscribe too, you guys. I think what I'll do next, I'll take a couple days off because I'm going to watch everybody else's pendings, and then I'm probably going to copy Steve and Steph and do a game night, okay? So anybody that wants to help me host that, you're on. I paid for StreamYard upgrade at least for a month. We'll see how this goes. All right.
That sounds fun.
Thank you, because I haven't seen you for a long time. I haven't got to talk to you. You've been busy because I know you have a full-time job, although you're at home now. I know you still work. So thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. I really wanted to hook you up with some other people and for them to meet you too. You guys, ciao. Love everybody. Everybody in the chat. Bye. Thank you. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thanks.
Ending 1, 2, 3. I'm supposed to do this, right?